And okay, I think we're good now. Oh, my audio level is way too high. Probably just blew out the ears of people listening.
No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. You're king shit today. You're running the show.
All right. Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Frostgiving Together for Hope tournament. My name is Apostle. Joining me is Rox. We'll be casting some games for you today. We apologize for the delays. We had some stuff we had to figure out. This is a scuffed passion project type stream. But we're here now. Rox, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's a little warm in the house right now, but my heart is warm for what we're raising money for today, Apostle.
Absolutely. We are raising money for To Light Love on Her Arms, a organization that helps support mental health, showcase the importance of it, and it helps people kind of get access to the resources that they may need to kind of help themselves deal with whatever struggles they may have.
Yeah, so any of you hog players that have ever typed in anything horrid in chat, we expect to see some donations in from you guys today.
Absolutely. I'm just letting the players know that we are ready to go in very shortly here. Our first match of the day is going to be Laika Martians versus Celestial Divide.
And
Two teams here showcasing some newer names, maybe some upcoming talent. I'm excited to see what kind of diamonds in the rough we might spot in a tournament like this.
diamonds in the rough, take that literally as well. I'm very excited to see. Me and Apostle, we're going to register to be via team. But unfortunately, I'm washed and he's too good for me. So I just kicked my camera way out of frame. Oh my God. I'm cooked. Help me, please. All right, we're sitting pretty in about 2 seconds. I swear. There we go. All right, we might be a little.
Oh, we see the monitor now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, we're gonna leave that it is for now, and then when we get to the game, I'll fix it. Don't worry about it. Nothing. I don't even have anything behind me today. This is how you know that the office has been rearranged. My ass has not set up anything behind me yet.
That's true. That's true.
Am I allowed to say anything? When we get into games, I'll keep it clean. This is for a good cause. I can't be having a potty mouth here.
Oh, I just realized that for clarity, since people might be coming from all over, this was meant to be just getting streamed on the Ex Oblivione channel. It somehow ended up getting streamed to my personal channels as well. So I'm not sure how that happened, but because that is somehow happening, I will throw in the Tiltify link, the donation link, for anyone who's curious, wants to go donate. Again, raising money for a great cause, and of course, we have like some donation incentives, so you can have some kind of wacky impacts on the game, which might impact things for better or for worse, depending on who's getting donated to.
Yeah, it's set to be a fun one. It's all for a good cause, It's nothing super sweaty or anything, but like that. But well, it's the season of giving, and we're here to give you guys a little bit of entertainment during these slow nights. Well, granted, Calling All Heroes is going on, that Exo Sakura is going to win, but we can't all be calling all heroes. We can't all be heroes. Some of us need to be down here on the streets.
Yeah,
We're working money to raising money for a good cause.
We're the beat cops.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you got the special forces up top. We're I think we're less than beat cops if possible. We might be a little mall cops.
Paul Blart style.
Yeah, I think I got the Paul Blart body now. I think I'm entering my dad bod arc, and I'm okay with that.
Is that what motivated the haircut? You needed to fit more of the dad look?
No, I woke up one night to go to the bathroom, and it was in my face like it always is because my hair naturally falls forward. So I chopped it, and I like my hair long, so it's probably going to get back to shoulder length, and we're going to keep it that way. But short hair me hasn't made an appearance for like 2 years. He needed to come out and start drinking massive amounts of alcohol again.
I am going to interrupt your tangent real quick, Mr. Ex Oblivione owner, to let you know that the link I tried to post into the for the Tiltify got deleted in the the Twitch chat because Nightbot doesn't like me sending links. So I might need someone with a few more
I
permissions
I
to
see it. I see it. It's there.
can anyone else see it?
I don't know, bro, but I'm not on the
Okay.
EXO channel, so
Well, anyway, we're heading into game now.
Five, four, three, two, one. Round one. Capture the objective.
Keep calm, keep sly. Our success knows no bounds. Hiya! Hiya! Hi there! I'm here. Don't try so. I'm on fire! Area denied. I think I see the enemy. Feels good, huh? Feel better? What's up? Hi there! Uh-oh. They're taking the point! Let's see. Cause of death? Me.
Picking fights they can't win. Hey, what's happening? Hey, oh!
This ends now.
I'm on the objective.
1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
And we might get it alive.
I'll just take the objective.
That's enough.
Staring.
Actuating the barrier. A theory emerges from the chaos. Bring in the rain! Hey. Oi, oi. Ho! What's happening? Ho!
Welcome to orbit.
It's
Boom.
Hey.
There you go. What's up?
Bring in the rain!
We have caster audio on our caster page.
Back in the fight.
What's happening?
They outnumber us. What's up?
Score 1 to 1. Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 3. Capture the objective.
Okay, I think we should have caster audio now.
All right, well, Memo and is kind of jockeying for position in the front here on the point, while Cass takes the high ground with Kiri. They're wrapping around by statue there on the other side. Meanwhile, Celestial Divide kind of sitting in between the two buildings here. And it looks like they're trying to set up for a dive, but Hazard getting dangerously low. Again, allowing like a Martian to really take hold at this point. But it looks like they're not giving it up yet until the Hazard goes down. Sicario going down a little bit earlier, and now they're just walking all over him. Cass looking to go down as well. And yeah, it's just a Celestial Divide reset here.
Absolutely. Now, it looks like we actually have a cast mirror coming through here. Fog deciding to swap off the Tracer, take that cast duel, and, you know, maybe trying to put a little bit more pressure onto Sicario there, who had a successful Tracer game. And right away, yeah, we see it. There it is. I spoke it into existence. Sicario goes down, and Fog actually finds a second.
Yeah, it looks like this fight is going to end a lot earlier than it started, as they choose to reset here.
Yeah.
And now Quanquag looks like he's trying to wrap around here with a good amount of all charge as well.
Yeah, we can see though, he is matching him pretty closely, so both these casters doing a great job. That Silver Bullet perk looking to hunt down the Tracer. Ooh, and a nice Hinder Grenade is almost going to take out Memo, and the follow-up is there. Memo does go down, but still are able to find the first pick, but now Buzz is going to use that committed flux to keep putting down the pressure, and it looks like torpedoes from Macroscopes there are going to be enough. The follow-up is just what they needed. Vika able to put themselves into the advantage, and Spray going down as well is going to allow them to really keep their foothold on this point. A nice rock is actually going to get the delayed kill onto Tim there as well.
Yeah, it looks like he was aiming for the Hazard there, not able to hit the Hazard, but hey, you found something better in the Kiriko. And look at the difference in all charge between the supports. Not too bad. However, where they do differ is on the Cass. The Cass is kind of going to be able to just sit down, sit back, and relax with this high noon.
Yeah, we have the ball swap come through here. Oh, a nice move from Berlin. That's one way to deal with the cast. But we actually see Buzz do the same. One deserves another. Now the Kiriko getting so low, but they're not quite able to find that pick. You see everyone is punting Abel, but no one is able to find it. And Abel is actually the one who comes out on top, taking out Sicario. Now Tim is going to be forced to do Jimmy Rush coming out from both teams here. Berlin trying to cause chaos in the backline. You can see everyone going so low. He is able to find the pick there onto the Juno. Memo going down as well. Means that Celestial might be able to this, but Fog with the Silver Bullet takes out the Hammond, takes out the Kiriko, and that's going to be like a Martians taking our first map here.
Yeah, that I want to call a special attention to Buzz here. Buzz kind of holding it down, like very sturdy, not really one to give up space or pass away. He's been doing really well so far in this match.
Absolutely, both tanks really have been putting on great performances. Like Berlin here, especially with that Hammond swap. At first, I was a little skeptical, given the amount of time that was left. It didn't seem like a swap just a touch, and you know, sure enough, he started pulling some crazy moves there, really disrupting the back line. And overall, just very impressive performances from both teams here, actually. But it looks like, yeah, you know, right now, everyone's been talking about the Sigma. So far, the story of Season 20 has been Sigma comps, right? And it looks like that might still be the story here. So do you think Celestial Divide, are they going to be able to counter comp this? Or is the solution maybe to try and go for a mirror?
I think with how strong Sigma is right now, I think you're going to have to go for that mirror. He had, I believe, a crazy win rate in ranked this past weekend. I haven't been on much to play Sigma, unfortunately, because that's one of the characters I really enjoy playing. But I heard it was a little bit of a hellscape up there with them upping his damage. Maybe a little bit too much, just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean, bringing back that one-shot combo, you know, it's just so devastating. One rock can basically allow you to just win any given fight. And, you know, like we've seen from Buzz there, being very successful in hitting those rocks.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I got a question for you now. Kind of related, kind of unrelated. Would you rather have a Sigma one-shot son or Roadhog hook daughter? Roadhog one-shot daughter.
Oh, that's a bit of a tough one. See, my nostalgia makes me want to say Roadhog, right? See, I grew up in the era of Hook 1.0. I was there when the
Yeah.
ancient texts were written, you know.
Yeah, that's
But
a man,
at,
that was a traumatizing time for me.
at the
I'm
same
glad you had fun
time,
with it, but
you know, maybe the past is the past for a reason. And if we have the option to kind of have the new era of the one shot, and then maybe that's better. Maybe that's progressive even.
yeah, I mean, do you think the rock is harder to hit or the hook is harder to hit? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I mean, uh, these days, hmm, in in okay, I think this is nuanced, right?
Okay.
Because rock is easier to hook, but rock is also harder to hook. It's kind of both at the same time because rock has near infinite range potential. Like Sigma is really lobbing those things, right? Whereas hook,
Yeah.
you're capped out at 20 meters. So,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
consider a max range hook in comparison to a max range rock. A max range rock, that's like the most hype thing ever. Whereas a max range hook is just like, honestly, if you're on the receiving end of it, it doesn't even feel good. Whereas if you're on the receiving end of a max range rock, I think you're kind of like, you kind of acknowledge that you just got gamed.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be rocked than hooked personally. It's less tilting. When I get hooked and it's like through the floor around a black hole and then like in Antarctica all at the same time, and I want to put my fist through my desk, it's just not a fun time. But when a little bit of rock comes out, I'm like, all right, yeah, I kind of earned that.
Yeah. And I mean, there you also just need to consider like what does the sun lead to, right? Like, if you're getting rocked, chances are you're being rocked in the safety of your team. Maybe there's a shield that can go up to protect you, maybe there's a Suzu that can come in for you. But when you're getting hooked, you're literally getting pulled into like a prison cell. There's
Yeah.
there outside of a select few characters, there's no escape.
Yeah, you kind of need your diva or your sigma or whoever to be on one for you to make it out alive. But that's a great question. I'm gonna hop on the Explodione channel real quick if you want to yap for a minute. I don't know why we're getting ads or having ads ran, so give me
Are
a
we
second
getting
to try and
ads?
fix that. Yeah, and that's pissing me off. And
Well,
someone brought it up in chat as well. So thank you for Jay for kind of bringing that to my attention. I didn't realize they were still running.
I
Let me see if I can fix
if
that.
I remember Twitch rules correctly, there's no way to disable ads unless you do pre-roll ads. And even then, I don't know if that disables it. I think that might just like disable it for an hour. I could be wrong, but believe you need to be partner to like completely disable ads, which is a pain. Something I've complained about many times. There's honestly there's probably like at least an hour of footage going back over the years of my channel of me just complaining about the fact that I can't disable ads. Because like the streamers, they don't make any money off the ads. Not until you're averaging like, at least 100 plus. Then maybe you start seeing something tangible. But anyway, off the topic of ads, we are going into our next map here, and it is going to be Route 66. So I'm expecting to see maybe some more dive-based comps coming in here, which I think should be pretty beneficial for Celestial, given that, we saw them pull out the Hammond, we saw them pull out the Hazard. They seem to be more comfortable on the dive compared to Leica, who definitely favored that long-range Sigma comps.
Yeah, Route 66, obviously the classic dive mech, besides like Dorado and like Gibraltar. And maybe they're trying to run a Winston here to counteract that Sigma, but I don't know how good Winston is right now. But it looks like they're spawn room locking Ram, but we don't know if that's real or not. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now we're actually, yeah, we're seeing some interesting stuff from the side of Leica. We see Turismo has come in, so we do have a sub there for their side. and it looks to be hovering the Ashe. We also see a Wu Yang, but the real kind of interesting thing here is Celestial, because we're seeing some Doomfist being hovered. We're seeing some Reinhardt. Berlin is just he is showing us all kinds of stuff.
Berlin, I want you to run the Reinhardt. I know you can't hear me right now, but you need to run that Reinhardt. You need to go sicko mode on the Reinhardt. But as we get into the game here, starting now, we see them come out on the Hazard instead, unfortunately. But
the
Ram on the other side.
Interestingly, we have the Wu Yang from both teams, which it does kind of, it is, you're maybe sacrificing a bit of the mobility that, you get with Lucio. Leica going to be trying to make up for it with that Juno, of course, to provide the speed.
Yeah, but on the other side, you just have the Kiri. So there's no speed
very
on the
low
other
there.
side.
Yeah, Sicario is actually going to be going for a pretty early kind of rotation here. We can see Berlin getting super low. Actually, some really nice displacement from Memo is going to be able to kind of take him out. But Sicario with a nice trade. Of course, that spawn advantage is going to be favoring Celestial Divide here quite a bit. So we'll see if they're able to make the most of that.
Yeah, it looks like both teams resetting here, and honestly, Makachoke's diffing their supports there. But, ooh, yeah, Turismo going down there.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of dips, 2 long-range dip scan, but Turismo coming out very much on the upper end of that matchup. We can see Buzz not really doing too much. He doesn't really need to be. He's just kind of keeping it locked down on cart, keeping it from moving around the corner. And in the meantime, the DPS here from the side of Leica, they're just kind of doing whatever they want. Keeping a really strong foothold there on top of the gas station.
Yeah, 100%. As a Ramatra, you just kind of need to sit there and not die. You need to know when to back up. And unfortunately, for Leica, Buzz going down.
Yeah, Buzz is finally taken out, but Turismo and Memo, like I mentioned, they're more than happy to find a fucking quick trade. There's going to be a Bob coming in, and there we go. There's the new Guardian of the cart, and it's not just going to be guarding the cart. It's going to be taking out Sicario as well. Turismo, subbed in just for this map here, and already it seems to be paying off dividends. He's sitting on 0 deaths right now, and he's finding kill after kill. Buzz is actually going to be swapping to the D.Va here as well.
Yeah, they're Ashe is so good up on top of Big Earls, and yeah, like you said, Buzz on the D.Va can kind of get around to his team more, and also just get up in that Freya's base. And Turismo laying down the damage as well, so he can just kind of sit up on top. Again, sitting up on top of Big Earls, doing as much as he needs to. Blade coming out.
Yeah,
going down.
Blade comes out, but yeah, the wave from Abel is actually going to take it down. I was thinking they were maybe going to combo the Blade with the Tidal Blast from St. Lazarus. But Sicario tries to go for a dry blade. It looks like it is going to be a swap coming in to kind of cap that run there on the Genji. And, the Tidal Blast on the Tracer, I think, will probably be a little bit more effective. But the blade could have gotten a little bit more value combo. Yeah, okay, so there it is. Tidal Blast is incoming on the Tracer, goes in, but isn't able to find anything. That's going to be a huge reset from the side of Celestial. And look at those health bars. Sicario and Berlin both so low. It's going to be forcing out the Tsune rush there from Tim. But Turismo, yet again, finding another pick, turning it in Leica's favor.
Yeah, they really all just either have to commit to a dive on top of Turismo and really disable him from doing what he's doing and just sitting there being a bastion, or they have to kind of just mow down Buzz, which isn't going to be easy because he's D.Va.
Yeah, and the thing is, okay, we have the downforce pin down there, but unfortunately there's just not enough damage. Meanwhile, Memo is able to go in, take out Sicario. A bullet shot coming through, isn't quite able to find anything, and a double bomb from Buzz is gonna put a quick end to this fight. Turismo is still just sitting pretty. And honestly, at Rocks, I think it's going to be really tough for Celestial. Their best bet to kill Turismo was going to be that wave. And yeah, unfortunately, they're just not quite able to find anything. So many ults used, but every time, like it's just so strong in the neutral, finding pick after pick. And even when the ults are used, a D.Va bomb finding 2 just thrown up in the air like that, that's something that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's just kind of aura farming at that point, right? Like Buzz just sending the diva bomb down main. Like, yeah, I don't even need this. We're not even worried. Turismo's just clicking heads. And I mean, if you're Celestial, what do? You kind of just have to hold spawn at this point because even if you lose like half of a fight, they're gonna be able to reach that corner and just win the map.
Yeah, and 40 meters here, it's gonna be a rough. Well, you know what? Let's paint it in a different light. Celestial Divide, they have the chance to pull off one of the most magnificent, miraculous holds of all time if they pull this off.
If they pull this off, I will donate $100 to charity.
There we go. All right, Leica, you hear
I
that?
will lock it
Leica,
in
start
now.
throwing, Leica.
They don't need to know nothing. They just, there's integrity there.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, Celestial, it looks like they're going to be choosing to run an Ashe here. The Freya experiment, I guess they decided it didn't really work out on their favor, and it looks like Buzz, maybe he's thinking about playing the Reinhardt, and
I would
lo and
love to see
behold,
it.
there it is.
Yeah. No, the Reinhardt, right? Reinhardt was definitely an issue earlier in those patch notes, so they had to nerf him. Classic Reinhardt being a problem, am I right? He's just getting in here. Where is he going?
And Makachoke's actually is already the one to actually find the first pick. With Tim going down and not having that Kiriko, he's going to make things very hard here for Celestial. You can see Berlin getting pretty low. Fortunately, though, Beast is able to take out Makachoke. So 4 down on both sides, and Buzz actually going down. Unfortunately, that shield, not much of a help against the Havoc Slash.
Yeah, where was Berlin going on that one? Now, I mean, what? This is about 2 meters to cap here, 3 meters, and now you're gonna have everyone on. And guess who's back? Buzz. Buzz is gonna be able to swing his hammer around the cart. Nobody's gonna be able to stop him. But it looks like it's not even gonna matter.
Yeah, and unfortunately, yeah, the pressure there from Micah just too strong. And Micah is going to be winning our first match here 2-0 with honestly a dominant performance there on Hollywood. Or sorry, on Route 66. All these American maps don't get for me.
Yeah, I mean, just because we have the greatest looking maps in the greatest looking country of all time, because, US of A, baby, am I right? But yeah, like you said, a dominant performance. Players that really stood out to me there: Buzz, Memo, Turismo, especially on that last map. Granted, any good hit scan sitting up on top of Big Earls, they're kind of immovable.
Yeah, Turismo had a legendary performance there on that Ashe. If that's the kind of if we see repeat performances of that throughout this tournament, I think Leica Martians is going to be feeling very comfortable.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think. I think Turismo's just kind of go forward, and any hit scan, anytime they need a hit scan, it was very impressive. And honestly, we're not talking about the sports enough either. They were enabling him to do his thing.
Yeah, no, the support's looking very, very solid. I mean, we saw there on that attack, right? Makachoke's there on the Juno, able to. I think what happened is she just went through the tunnel there up top and sent out torpedoes just from the backside, and you know what? It finds pay dirt.
Yeah, a very good performance from Leica here. Do you know who our next team is going to be?
Yes, our next
team up
match is going to be Hypnos North America versus Silver Tiles Soldiers.
Hypnos. What the hell, bro?
Yeah, a bit of a familiar name here. So
I don't know if I think I'm anti-Hypnos right now. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Is it like nepotism? Not nepotism, but like bias to root for the other, or for the old sister team of Ex Oblivione? Yeah, no, I'm going anti-bias actually. Forget Hypnos NA. We got XOEU, baby. That's the only real sister you need.
yeah, well, wait till Alex hears you talking like that.
Alex ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah. Well, we're going to throw it to a quick break while that match gets set up, but we will be back very soon. Make sure you don't go anywhere. And of course, make sure that you check out the Tiltify for the donation links, raising money to write love on her arms, supporting mental health support. Great cause. Check it out. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Okay, so this is ApostLe. This is my first edition, or not first edition, but this is my base set Charizard. I like that one a lot. I got this Typhlosion in Sweden.
Wow, you got a
Um,
Typhlosion from Sweden?
yeah, it's and then I got bands, bro. Like I got my platinum stamped Eevee there. Oh, hey guys, I didn't even see you there. Welcome back to the charity tournament. As we're heading into our first map of this game, ApostLe, what can you tell me?
Well, we got two great teams here. We have Hypnos versus Silvertal's Soldiers. Now, Hypnos is a name that we might be a little familiar with, but Silvertal's Soldiers, a bit of a wild card coming in here.
Yeah, Hypnos, obviously, not like, not related to us or anything anymore, but once our sister team. Now,
Ready for battle.
nothing to me anymore. It's not like it was a hard breakup or anything. I'm not crying, you are. But we got, two different kinds of comps coming out here. And what do you think of the Winston here? Winston, not someone we see anymore, but always kind of good.
I mean, the Winston is always a classic pick, right? Even in his weakest moments, he can still be pretty effective. What I was interested in was seeing Shoreline Pie there on the side of Silvertal hovering the Vendetta, but it doesn't look like we'll be seeing that quite yet. Actually, that was going to be Bloom.
Oh, Bloom
Pulling out the Vendetta. All right.
Now, what do you think about the Ash Vendetta combo here? As Seda immediately takes down Shoreline Pie, enabling Jackal to go in, just kind of jumping on top of everyone. They're running a fast dive here.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the combo, but the Ash definitely seems to be working out. A quick pick is immediately going to open this up for Hypnos. And with Sada just able to rip the head off of Shoreline Pie there. And just like that, it is going to be Hypnos able to take the first point control. Now we can see Jackal just throwing themselves in, taking control of that high ground. The Hazard is maybe going to be able to match it a little bit, but now Bloom just frontlining. We can see Bloom already has the gold sword there for Vendetta, and actually looks pretty slick too.
Yeah, and Vendetta, a very interesting character for me. I haven't gotten to see much Vendetta in action, but what I have seen, she looks like a lot of fun. Look at Bloom, just swinging around. Like, just having a party with himself. He's in a rave right now, and he's taking out the whole team.
Very nice shot from Seta there, yeah.
Oh.
You can see Hypnos, the DPS here are really just bloodthirsty today. Shoreline Pie feels like they haven't even be able to get a moment to breathe, which you kind of want on the Sojourn, right? You want to be able to build up that railgun charge, line yourself up for the railgun shot, but just like Hypnos and is playing so quick, they haven't even had the chance to do that. Right away, you can see the Suzu and teleport forced out of Luca, which is going to leave Tidal very low, but just hiding in the room now. Bloom is right there guarding the doorway, slashing away, and the Dynamite is actually going to take out Shoreline Pie.
Yeah, it's looking very grim for the side of Shoreline Pie here as they have to retreat back in. And the mob coming up, are they gonna pop it here? No, Bloom is just going insane.
Yeah, no need to pop it when you have Bloom out there just looking like a prime Zoro on the front line right now. Absolutely devastating on the Vendetta, and in one of the first looks we've seen at the character in this kind of tournament, he's proven to be very strong. But now the Bob is going to come out. I'm not exactly sure where that got thrown out there. It looks like it is just on the low ground. So Silvertal Soldiers, they might kind of be able to get around this, but it actually is going to be Jackal with a quick leap to take out Luca. And despite having 3 ults here on the board for Silvertal, only one is going to get used. Actually, 2 are going to get used and 2 are going to get canceled. A quick flash is gonna seal the deal here. 0.1 going to the side of Hypnos, looking phenomenal.
It looks like Silvertile's soldiers are just kind of like saving them for the next round. You know what I mean? I mean, the Ajax, a little disappointing on the side of the soldiers, but what are you gonna do? You can't really do much about that when you have Bloom just kind of running around like a crazy person. But they're going to the Symmetra now, maybe going back to that Vendetta afterwards, but
yeah, I definitely think that Silvertal, though, given how you were really being torn apart by that Vendetta, I think that maybe some counter swapping would be a prudent idea, and it does look like we might see that. I saw Didn't Tuck Me hovering Venture there, and yes, that is what we're gonna see. So we're gonna see the Venture versus the Vendetta, 2 very strong kind of melee-based heroes. Vendetta definitely more so, but that drill, drill versus sword, that's a classic matchup if I've ever seen one. But Luca's gonna be the one to start things off, taking out Silent.
Yeah, Silent going down immediately, that's going to obviously be beneficial for the side of Hypnos and Egg here. Going to be able to build up that support a lot faster, but they're not going to be able to, I guess, do that if everyone's already dead. Nobody's taking any damage on the side of Hypnos and Egg except for Jackal, so they're just kind of free farming and hopefully, however, Soldiers maybe trying to take control of the point. Yeah, they're not going to get it. Or they get it, actually. Holy cow.
Yeah, you got baited by
kill feed bug. Yeah, kill feed bug messing me up.
Yeah. And we're actually going to see an immediate swap here. Seta deciding not to stick with the Ashe anymore, and instead going over to the Cassidy, and immediately is able to pay off as Foolish goes down. Bloom there, able to use that block to stay alive, and now just hunting down Tidal. But Shoreline Pie finally able to find something with this Sojourn to get that pick. Now Jakal going very low, trying to take down Shoreline Pie. Kiriko trying to keep him alive, but Seta's right there with the follow-up. Now didn't touch the only DPS left alive. Luca isolated there on that far hall. Looks like they are going to be able to get out, but a point flip is going to come through. Hypnos able to have the sustain they need to end up putting it back in their favor.
Yeah, Hypnos just kind of dominating so far. That first fight, maybe a little bit sloppy, maybe a little bit of here, a little bit of there, but I really think they're going to be able to take control of this point. Honestly, I think I like the Hazard a little bit better, but I think Jakal's Winston is just so strong.
Yeah, we can see that Bloom isn't quite able to have the same impact on this match. Shoreline Pie doing a much better job putting a ton of pressure, but dives in, and the Suzu is just enough to keep them alive and allow them to take out Foolish. A quick escape is going to allow them to get right back into the fight. Fortunately, though, in that time, Jakal was able to be taken out. Tidal able to find the upper hand there, and it looks like the Kitsune Rush from Luca is going to be all that Silver Tall Soldiers need in order to win this battlefield.
Yeah, you got both support ults coming up on the side, but Silent going down, I mean, I guess a little late there, but both support ults coming up on the side of Hypnos NA to match Shoreline Pie's overclock here, and all you really have is the Primal Rage and the High Noon. High Noon, as we know, kind of a cosmetic ult, but it looks like they're trying to set up here for something a little bit more sneaky.
Yeah, Shoreline Pie, they do have the overclock. Oh, and it looks like they don't even need it, as Silent's just going to get immediately taken out just by the new
Why get
damage.
one sandwich for the price of one when you can get two for the price of one?
Oh boy.
Sounds like stealing. It's not.
Boy.
Order yours only through potbelly.com or the Potbelly app.
Stream.
Potbelly. We bring the hot.
Stream.
That's a great question, Apostle. However, I can see it because I'm the owner of the game stream. And Jakal goes crazy with the Primal Rage, and it looks like didn't touch me. Kind of trying to save that Tectonic Shock for maybe a next fight, but they're closing in on 92% here. And Jakal, once again, he's going crazy, but Boop, living up to his name. Boop and the other Lucio off the map. Foolish going down as Shoreline Pie shooting that bubble, trying to gain a little bit of charge.
Yeah,
But 99 here.
yeah, even though I did miss a little bit of it, thanks to that Potbelly roast ad or whatever it was, what I do see now is that we have beat online for Silver Tall, and they have no portal. The slash is going to come through there from Bloom, goes down, doesn't quite find anything. A quick move forward is going to be able to take down Shoreline Pie, but the silver lining is that they traded an ult for nothing. Silver Tall, they just went in dry. Now they can come back. They're getting very close to that Kitsune Rush as well, and Hypnos NA, only thing they'll have with it is a Deadeye. So right now, advantage is on the side of Silver Tall. They can try to play their cards right, and early High Noon is going to try to mess that up.
Yeah, Seda popping High Noon here as Hazard jockeying for position. You hear the Venture pop it off, and the question I was going to ask you was, who is Venture ulting here? They're all relatively mobile except for Seda, and Seda's being bodyguarded, and it looks like they're not going to get anything. Foolish taking down Blue. Tidal taking down Seda as the beat comes out from Foolish. Advancing forward, no beat to match. Don't touch me.
Yeah, that beat is going to be all the sustain that Silver Tall Soldiers need in order to get in here and flip the point. Now, you can see that Jakal is able to get the primal that Kiriko is able to keep him alive, but just long enough for him to be able to build it up, but he's getting taken down so low. He is able to isolate Shoreline Pie, though, and thanks to Seta and Bloom, Hypnos and Egg suddenly turn this in their favor. Seta's able to find a second, and now it's just Tidal who's able to get Bloom. What? It's a team kill. 95% on the board.
And nobody's going to be able to touch.
No touch. A miraculous flip back in the favor of Hypnos is going to allow them to take this first point.
Yeah, I mean, Silver Tall Soldiers looking a lot better on that second map compared to the first one. What do you think changed between the two maps?
Play
Honestly, I think it was just Shoreline Pie really started locking in and put down a lot more pressure there on Bloom. You could see that, you know, this first map, it was Bloom basically just having a field day. You know, they were just sharpening their sword on the whetstone that was Silvertell soldiers there. But that second map, it definitely looked like the Venture for sure. That I think that was a big part in helping it. But you know, be able to really identify some much better angles for the Sojourn to put down the pressure, be a threat with those railguns, definitely helped out a lot there.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where Silver Tall Soldiers are going to take Hypnos NA now, because you see them wanting to play that Vendetta. Do you think? I just saw the pork belly ad on the on the thing. My apologies there. I fixed it. I didn't even know they were on. Um, but it's you said Vendetta really likes those open maps. Again, I don't have much education on the character. I wasn't really able to play when we were in Stockholm. She was being play tested out on the live servers. Where do you think Silver Star Soldiers are going to take Hypnos NA?
Uh, it does look like it's hard because right now it looks like both these teams are kind of favoring the dive. And, you know, just based off this first map, I think I gotta give the edge to Hypnos. You know, they're looking very solid with that Winston. Seems to be working out well for them. And then, you know, the Vendetta, it seems to be complementing the Winston pretty nicely.
Yeah, where do you think we're going now? Do you think we might be going to a more close quarters map? Um, I mean, we can see it, so like act like you were gonna guess, but like,
I mean,
where do you think we would be going if you didn't see the map already?
you definitely want to be somewhere that will make it a bit harder, I think, for the Vendetta to operate, right? And based on what we've been hearing from like the pro reactions about where Vendetta is successful versus where she's not, it seems like that's going to be like kind of places where she can get trapped. You know, think like your King's Row, where you know, yeah, the Vendetta would need to be going through hotel or going through these alleys in order to try and get the value, which can you can kind of get stuck in there. You know, you don't really have as easy of an escape route. You're really just relying on your vertical mobility to be able to get out of there. But of course, on a map like King's Row, there those rooftops, I'm not quite sure if Vendetta can actually get over them. You know, the hero's a bit too new for me to know that off the top of my head. So that might be something what like that you'd be looking at.
Yeah, what about a Shambali Monastery? You think Shambali Monastery would be a good map for these or the
You know,
soldiers to take Hypnos NA to?
if that was the map that ends up getting picked, I think there's some good potential there, especially on the first point. On the second, though, I'd be a little concerned that it maybe starts favoring the Vendetta a little more, especially if you're Hypnos running the Vendetta on like the attack. You know, because I think that the sword throw, the ability that has all that vertical kind of movement, that's going to be really good for finding like some flanks and stuff. And I think if you're the Vendetta, you're going to be looking for a flank, kind of lining yourself up to get an easy entry to the back line. You can just wait for your cooldowns, get a quick engage, find a quick pick. If nothing else, maybe force a Suzu. And of course, Jakal and the Winston, what we've been seeing is he's able to jump in, throw down the bubble with, of course, has the healing perk to kind of allow the Vendetta to stay alive for even longer than we would otherwise. And of course, you top that with the Suzu and everything else that's going in. It makes for a pretty a pretty unkillable swordswoman there.
Yeah. And now, can you explain to me what the stacks do? Genuine question again. Don't really know. What do those stacks do? They grant movement speed, I'm pretty sure, and they grant attack speed.
That sounds right. You know, off the top of my head, I'll be completely honest right now. I have not yet touched that hero myself. I was in Stockholm during the playtest, and I haven't had time to sit down and play it since getting home. So
All right. Well, to ask you another question before we get into the second map here, what do you think about this Charizard? This shining Charizard here. You think that's a good guy? You think that's a good guy? You think that's a good guy? I saw Red Sun wanted more cards, so I think I'm done with the magic tricks with the cards, but
let me ask you a question. How
okay,
many
hit me.
characters does Overwatch need before we get an Overwatch trading card game?
100.
100?
Yeah, 100
Do
at
you think
least.
Overwatch has 100 named characters if we go into like the lore?
Absolutely, but I think we need to get a magic expansion before we get our own trading card game. As we look,
Oh,
we're
you're
getting into
right.
the
You're
lobby
right.
here now. We're going to Shocker, Shambhala Monastery.
Whoa,
Holy.
Shambhala? Wow, that's who would have guessed?
Yeah, not me. I don't know. That was all you on that guess. You said maybe Kings Row, Shambhala. Same map if you think about it.
Yeah, they're both dark and in the Western Hemisphere.
There's a payload.
Yeah. There's Omnix.
That's true. See,
I mean, actually, wait, hold on. And now that I think about
Omnix
it,
statues.
like, yeah, isn't Mandata from Shambhala? And like, he was killed in King's Row. Like, we're really just looking at two sides of the same coin here.
You're putting together the pieces there, and we're really making it happen here. So, like I said, if you don't think about it too much, they are the same map.
Pretty much.
I know I said if you think about it, they are the same map, but you know, you just like gaslight people. You guys should donate, by the way, to the Tiltify link pinned in our Twitch chat here. No more ads, to the best of my ability. I made it so we have at least only 30 seconds per hour. My apologies again. I cannot really remove it. We are not affiliate.
Oh wait, we should just run ads during the breaks, I guess.
You're so smart for that.
Why?
I'll pull that up. You're the Twitch guy. I just say things into a microphone and eventually it does
I
something.
am, but I'm not used to having breaks, so. Anyway, actually talking about the gameplay, we're gonna see a Bastion Sigma comp. You know, I saw some people in like Twitch chats say Bastion might be meta. I didn't really believe it. I'm still not sure if I do, but hey, maybe this game is gonna be the one to convince me.
You know what? I really like this because this reminds me of the World Cup in 2023 where we had Team Saudi Arabia buffed to the gills running Bastion Sigma sim, and that was a fun watch.
Right away, we were seeing just insane pull coming out from the combination of the Wu Yang, the Bastion, and the Sigma. So much damage, and yeah, sure enough, it is going to be the Wu Yang to find the first pick. A quick rock is going to knock down Tidal. He's just putting them arms up, trying to keep this Symmetra from turning him into a failed Laces victim. And it's going to be Seta who comes up there, finding 3. Jakal just chasing down Diana. A pretty quick start here for Silvertel's soldiers.
Yeah, I mean,
Or, sorry, for Hypno Sene. I forgot to swap the sides.
yeah, that's all right. It happens, but look on the side of Silverclaw soldiers with the nano boost. Granted, they took a lot of damage there, so you expect them to have it. Proline Pie going down early there, not going to be able to really fight and put down damage for his team. But I mean, Hypno Sene just capped.
Yeah, they did. Quick cap. In fact, we see Tidal swap, try and match it, but Paul just finding the better end of that Sigma 1v1, proving himself to be the bigger Sigma. Now, Foolish is going to find a kill here on the exit, which I think, you know, if you're a Silvertel, you've got to be happy to take that, right? That's hopefully going to give you the stabilization that you need to kind of find a bit of a footing here, because right now, that cart really has not stopped rolling for them.
No, not at all. And Luca with the nano here has the opportunity to open up the fight. Seda with the Bastion ult. I mean, is that a real ult? Are we calling that an ult or just like a glorified ability here? But Tidal taking down Silent. So that's kind of what you want to see to open it up.
Look at Foolish just going on a huge flank here. They're able to put down a couple quick kunais, and it's just going to keep you right back out. With a nano online, they're going to be going for the flank again. But unfortunately, that means that Tidal's going to be left with, you know, not quite as much healing as he might be used to. He's going to get taken down. Now, of course, Bastion, the fake ultimate. Well, you know what? It's actually going to get one. I spoke too soon. And it's going to be getting a little bit rough for Silvertel as, yeah, the damage is just now exploding from the side of Hypnos. They're going to get a 2-kill.
Yeah, and I mean, Hypnos not having to use any ults aside from the Bastion and the Flux there, but you still have Wu Yang, Kiri, and Sim to come up, and Sim is a fight-winning ult. Slack that on top of Tsune, you're going to the races.
Absolutely. Now we can see Seta just kind of ready to just start putting down so much pressure here. Silvertel, they have 4 ults online. They just need to make sure they don't get out-tempoed here. We need to see a bit of aggression coming in here. Silvertel soldiers, they need to be the ones to pull the trigger first.
Yeah, you gotta go here and start initiating. The wall coming out as soon as the overclock comes out, and nano boost onto the overclock wall, onto Shoreline Pie. Can he get anything done with this wall, or will he just go down immediately? Going down so low. Is he going to remain alive? No, Jackal taking down Shoreline Pie. Tidal wave coming out, and it looks like they're kind of trading here. Jackal going down. That front line completely gone for the side of Hypnos NA. And Bloom kind of just stacking up damage here. Can they replace the damage they've already lost? Don't touch me going down as well. Flux coming out from the side of Tidal. Tidal just getting shot in the air by the Bastion.
Yeah, he is able to stay alive. The Gravitic Flux taking out the Kiriko, and then some healing from his Honest, barely able to be enough to allow him to stay in the fight. And with that Bastion finally going down, it looks like so the soldiers may finally be able to have a bit of a moment of respite here. I mean, Yakala, he looks like he wants none of that. He's just pushing straight forward. He definitely does not want to give him a moment to breathe. And away from spawn here, it's going to be a Bastion ult raining down from the skies. Throws it down, sees if he can find anything. One went a little bit high, so not quite the most effective Bastion ult, but that is more in line with what we'd expect. Now the Kitsune Rush is going to come in here from Silent. You can see Mikao is able to build up that Gravitic Flux in the middle of it, but doesn't even need it. As Bloom and Seda combine to find two, and Mikao finds two of his own. There's no one left here for the side of Silvertall. It's just Shoreline Pie, who can't even touch. Hypnos and A with his Bastion Sigma comp looking incredible.
Yeah, they really just ran through the side of Silvertall soldiers. It was just kind of unfair. The cart did not stop moving at all, except for when Jackal finally got taken down and they lost that front line. I mean, even eliminating Seda didn't do much because he could just ult from spawn.
Yeah, and honestly, on the side of Silvertall soldiers, I have to wonder if it maybe is a bit of a counter comp misread that I have to look at the Mei from Didn't Tuck Me, who I think individually was performing fine. We saw good Mei walls, but you know, you're playing in a range where you get shredded by the Bastion if he has the turret form available, and if not for that, then you're having to deal with dodging the rock from the side of Jakal, and if not for that, then you're having to deal with Symmetra from the Bloom, who's just constantly at the level 3 beam charge, which of course puts down so much damage. I think we Silvertall soldiers need to try experimenting a little bit more if they want to be able to dismantle this comp more effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. And experimenting they are. Looking like they're hovering like a very hard double flex support here on the Baptiste and the Iliari. Iliari, not someone you see too often. So I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Of course, Shumbabi Monastery, a very, very good map for Ilari on the defense. On the offense, I'd like to see how this goes.
2, 1.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to fix the sides here.
No, absolutely. I got you covered. Didn't Tuck Me coming out on the Hanzo. Is he going to stay the Hanzo or is he just looking for that one shot? It looks like he's kind of going around to the side there, looking for an angle to maybe get a headshot. The one shot Hanzo is famous for. As Luca and Foolish just kind of, you know, playing a bit of back. Luca up with that Sigma and Tidal going down to Seda instantly. And Jackal taking down Foolish. It looks like they've kind of straggled or got those stragglers around on the side there, eliminated the flankers, and now they just kind of have to go back to spawn. I mean, Hypnos and A kind of just pushing the spawn here, sitting here, able to do whatever they want. The Sim TP there, so they can just kind of go out whenever they need to. But it looks like they're backing off here, kind of taking a better position.
Yeah, I do like the Hanzo. In theory, it should be a solid pick into the Bastion, but the question is, will they be able to take those angles? Of course, the strength of the symmetric comp that we always see, the same strength that was able to defeat the Korean super teams, is just that you have so much angle control. You can be anywhere, wherever in a matter of seconds. And it looks like Hypnos and A, they're more than happy to make the most of that ability. Now we see a crazy pincer come through here. Jackal comes into the hallway, but they can't even look at him because they're too busy looking at Seda, just beaming them down from the front line. Foolish, though, is able to find a trade. That Symmetra going down. If we can see Tidal survive here, it might be just enough for Silvertall to maybe start making some progress. You can see Foolish there on the other side, raining down those Yang orbs. And with Luca having a back window available to them now, they should be able to make some progress here if they play their cards right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Bastion ult coming out right here, just to kind of, you know, stem the bleeding while the Sim is gone, but Luke going down.
Yeah, Shoreline
go time.
Finding a huge pick, and Didn't Tuck Me is actually swapped to the Pharaoh, which I'm actually a bit of a fan of. As long as you're careful, you should be able to be doing crazy damage. Now, the ult going out onto Shoreline Pie, that's going to make quick work of him. Fortunately, though, that we do have some cart progress starting around this corner. Tidal getting very close to the Gravitic Flux of his own to see if he's able to get it here. If he gets it, I think you're going to want to pop it quick. He's getting very low, so healing needs to come through. And there it is. Foolish is there, has his back. Riddick comes in. Seda just barely able to live there. Failing to find that pick is going to be brutal for the Silver Tall Soldiers. Kentucky, though, able to take out Boop. Maybe that lack of healing will be an opening for them to do something here, but missing the tank and the Baptiste, you have to take your foot off the gas pedal just for a little bit.
Yeah, Foolish actually swapping over to the Wu Yang here long enough for him to get ult. You do have the overclock coming out from Shoreline Pie, and Shoreline Pie has been making it happen every once in a while. But the question is, who are you going to put this Tidal Blast on if you are Foolish?
Yeah, well, it's definitely not going to be Shoreline Pie. He just gets taken out by the Bastion out of nowhere. That's what we're talking about, right? This Bastion is just able to move so quickly. And, you know, especially if you're an old school player, it's something that you're just not used to. You can never be ready for a Bastion to appear on angles, given that he used to be completely immobile. Now it didn't tuck me here on a huge off angle, trying to build up that, or sorry, he has built up that barrage, but is there going to be anything to be found with it? A sim wall going to be used here. It's going to make it hard for that barrage to find any value. Might just have to wait it out. The Tidal Blast can be put onto the Sigma. Tidal's going forward, and you can see, okay, the barrage comes through. Seda goes down. That's going to be a big source of damage for the side of Hypnos to move now. But is it going to be enough? Tidal goes forward, finds a quick rock onto the call, but so much healing coming through. Not going to be quite enough, though. The Tidal is finally able to win that Sigma matchup in his favor for once. Shoreline Pie still struggling to find a bit of value here, but silver lining is that they were able to hold on to that ult. That railgun is going to be probably crucial for Silver Tall Soldiers to actually cap this out here, as we are in overtime now and the cart is just coming up to the corner.
Yeah, Tidal coming up onto his Gravitic Flux, but Jackal gonna get there first. No support ult on the side of Hypnos NA. So if you're Hypnos NA, you gotta live just for a little bit more. But Shoreline Pie taking down Seda with the overclock, starting this fight.
Yeah, the overclock doing exactly what it needs to. And Boom being taken super low as well. Some quick orbs from Tidal are going to make sure that gets cleaned up. Now Hypnos are missing both their DPS. Silver Tall should have all the freedom they need in order to capture this point. But the sustain is looking to be very strong. It's keeping Jackal up, but finally, Boop goes down, and with that, Jackal is quick to follow. They're not quite able to get the stagger onto the Kiriko, but they found the cap, and that's going to keep them alive in this series a little longer.
Yeah, their keys to success here. I mean, Shoreline Pie, once he got the space to operate, once he got the time to operate, I mean, he was clicking bodies, not clicking heads, but clicking bodies enough to get them that first point.
Yeah, we can see Tidal actually picking Sigma Levitation. Interesting. Gonna have a bit of extra mobility, but in a map like this, I'm not sure that that mobility is gonna help you. There's not really any high ground you can access, so we'll see how that ends up paying off here. If not, so they have both the portals, and they're just gonna pop the Tidal Blast immediately. Jackal dives way in. He's gonna force out the lamp, but some quick follow-up from Seda there on the high ground is gonna make sure that he's able to find the intended target. Yeah, they just collapse onto Hypnos, who aren't able to take such a brutal rush. And Didn't Tuck Me is now just going to be trying to stay alive here as he gets hunted.
Yeah, are you happy there if you're Silver Tall? Oh,
Yeah,
nice move. If you are Silver Tall Soldiers though, you are kind of happy with that. You get out the time, and now you have free room to operate with. That's brutal. He just barely lives there. You got the Gravitic Flux though, and again, you have your Riptide or not Riptide, but your I always forget the name. Yeah, Riptide's a better name for it, but you have your Wu Yang ult as well, just to kind of go in there. And now Didn't Tuck Me coming up on this barrage, basically a guaranteed kill if you play your cards right.
Yeah, the Gravitic Flux coming out in use of conjunction of the Tidal Blast actually, which unfortunately means that one Zuzu is going to nullify two ults here. Didn't Tuck Me was able to find a bit of value with the barrage, but a quick sim wall from Bloom is going to look to equalize it. And now we can see Call just going in deep, is able to take out Luca, and now it's going to be a bit of a duel here between Chakal in the backline and the rest of the soldiers, but you know, he's on his own. He's not going to last very long, and that's actually a pretty significant stagger for the soldiers. It might be enough to allow them to really put their foot down to tap out this part. An early Suzu being used is going to mean that Satan's going to be keeping some heavy pressure here. He's getting so low and is going to get taken out. Now we can see that Didn't Tuck Me. Kind of free here, do what he wants there up in the sky. He's going to find a trade impressively enough, but it's still going to end up going the side of Silver Tall Soldiers. And, you know, once again, we're seeing a scenario where Shoreline Pie being taken out early might be beneficial, because it means that you have once again saved that railgun, or the overclock rather, to kind of attack here on this third and final point. And Blue is actually swapped over to the main now, away from the system.
Yeah, this is interesting. Now that that Bastion doesn't have as much room to operate, as much freedom to operate, I should say, without that Symmetra turret, he's kind of a sitting duck. Shoreline
Oh,
didn't touch me. Going down there very quickly.
Yeah,
But
a good bit
you
of pressure
have the-
there from Zeta. Was able to get followed up upon by Silence. And you see that it's really all that Hypnos needs. They just immediately go forward. A back window is going to be used to try and kind of stem the bleeding here, but it's not going to be enough as Hypnos are able to just win that fight. Really just solely based off that early poke damage from Zeta. Like, you know, we keep talking about the insane raw damage output of Bastion in his turret form, but you know, even when he's not in that turret form, he is a bit climbing a bit too high there from Silent, focusing an early Suzu and see if there's follow-up to that. But yeah, the Bastion basically a soldier even when not in that turret form. Foolish actually swapping to then. Really see if this kid way off.
Yeah, Bloom going down early there. Bloom taking down the immortality field. Zeta also going dangerously low. Luca probably going to pass away here, but not before Title goes down first. Shoreline Pike still yet to pop that overclock. He's held it for so long, but is it too late? He's got 6 seconds left. You've got to make something happen here if you're Shoreline Pike. However, you're so far back away from the cart. Nobody's going to be able to touch here. As Hypnos NA closed the door on Silverclaw soldiers.
Yeah, unfortunately, Silvertail, it looked like they had things that maybe they could have been able to work with, but the insane pressure from the side of Hypnos is just able to keep them from even getting through that choke point, and literally just aura farming in the doorway, keeping them away. An impressively well done hold, even with that swap that we saw from the Symmetra to the Mei. You know, they didn't miss a beat. Hypnos looked just as comfortable on it. And of course, Jakal, we saw him get the play of the game there on the Sigma, just doing an incredible job putting down so much pressure.
Yeah, Silvertall soldiers, they had some pieces there. They really did. They had some pieces to kind of come back and win the game after what honestly was a middling start. I would have liked to see the OC used with that window there. Unfortunately, that did not happen. The OC was held for way too long. And then it was just kind of picking up the pieces from there and picking at the bones for Hypnos NA.
Yeah, Hypnos. And, you know, they just showed, I think what it really came down to was a much more kind of, a much stronger willingness to really get aggressive. Like, I think we saw it with the Kiriko especially, right? Like, we saw a little bit of it from Foolish there on the defensive round, not quite as much on on Silvertail Soldiers offense, but it was Hypnos who did have the Kiriko silent going on like some pretty crazy flanks there, you know, putting down pressure, pulling in resources. And like when we saw the Bastion kind of poking the Pharah from afar, it was silent on the Kiriko who was able to, you know, go find the Pharah in the hiding spot and just take them out, send them right back to the spawn room.
Yeah, I think we should start doing players of the match. If you pick a player of the match for last game, and then I'm gonna see if we have the same player of the match for this game. I'm voting. I can't remember the tank's name on the
Jakal?
side of not this the game before, game previous.
Oh, the game before, Buzz.
Tank on the winning team. Buzz, kind of the goat. I'm voting Buzz for player of the match last match. This match, honestly, I'm gonna go Silent.
Yeah, I think Silent, Jakal. I want to give an honorable mention to Seda there for pulling out the Bastion and looking like very comfortable in it. Like honestly, shades of prime Saudi Arabia there.
Yeah, and you know, that's a good thing, surely. That's a great thing.
When it comes to Bastion gameplay, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And Sim, they were honestly running the Sim for a little while, and then
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of looking like prime UB. But I
Yeah,
think we're gonna throw it
definitely.
to a quick break here.
Yes.
As we wait to get into the next game. Remember, donate Tiltify link in the chat up top. So make sure you do that. Every $5 for the next minute, Apostle will be taking one paintball to the chest.
In game.
In game. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so as I was saying, like as we're waiting for this next match, this purple guy is the same as this orange guy, but not the same as this purple guy. This is a different purple guy. But the other two purple guys are the same as this purple guy, and this yellow guy are also the same as the first purple guys, and they are all the purple guys. So did you get that?
I think so, and their name is, Tonaf?
No, their name is William Afton. Um,
Afton.
yeah,
I got it backwards.
he had an Overwatch account actually named Jonak.
Now,
So
because they're purple and yellow, is there any relation to, like, Wario and Waluigi, or
no, Wario and Waluigi are just like little goons. These guys are like child killers. Except the other purple guy is like chill. He's a chill vibe. He just got his intestines scooped out, and then a bunch of like I think like 5 animatronics went inside of him, and that's going to be in the next movie I think, unless they oh we're live, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. Well, so we've decided to come back with some in-flight entertainment for you guys. You know, we started with a nice appetizer FNAF lore, but now it's time to get, you know, we're here for a tournament. We want competition, don't we, Rox?
Yeah, I'm about to cook you in this. You
Yeah,
have no
so
idea.
for today's main course, we have a little bit of food guesser. But before that, of course, everyone make sure you go check out our Tiltify donation link where you can donate to Write Love on Her Arms, everyone's favorite organization that supports mental health support.
Yeah, thank you again for Sav for allowing us to just kind of take this and do what we're doing with it. We're having a lot of fun here so
Yeah.
far. So make sure you come back tomorrow. All right, it's gonna be fun.
Now, speaking of mental health, which one of these two dishes in front do you think is more damaging to your psyche?
I don't know what
Sea
chicken
crab
mole
soup
is.
or chicken mull? Well, we
I
can we
oh
can tap to
okay.
expand here. Let's see.
I'm there.
So, she crab soup, creamy soup, crab meat, crab roe, butter, onion, celery, base of heavy cream and sherry. Seasonings like mace. Isn't mace like the assault prevention thing?
You're asking a white guy that, Apostle. Like I may have a little bit of Italian in me, but like you're asking a white guy about seasoning.
What do you mean Italian? This is a United States dish.
I'm saying I have a little bit of Italian in me, but I'm also very very white. I don't know about seasoning, and you're asking. I don't know what the fuck mace is, bro. Isn't that like something you spray at a bear?
That's what I just said. Isn't it assault prevention?
Oh, assault. I thought you said like salt prevention. Oh,
He's doing a bit. There's no way he's not real. This is to be a bit.
No, it isn't a bit. That's like the bad part. Oh, all right. Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Okay.
Can you say the W word?
Worcestershire sauce.
No, you said that Worcestershire sauce. I said it wrong. Worcestershire sauce. You're a fucking fool.
Oh, I am.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot. I'm not supposed to be. Okay. All right, but chicken mole. Can you tell me about chicken mole?
No.
Okay.
The
exact
origins are
origins.
unclear. So, no, I cannot. They don't know
Oh,
either.
okay. But it is believed to have been brought to the region by immigrants in the 18th and 19th centuries. It is
Okay.
often served with crackers or cornbread. Holy bro, put some cornbread in there. I'm there.
Well, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. See, you can't think of this as just food versus food. You have to think of this as you have to think of how people would think of the food versus food. People are gonna look at she crab and they're gonna look at chicken and they're gonna be like, I know chicken. I have no clue what she crab is. That sounds like something from Lord of the Rings. That's Shelob's aquatic cousin. They're
I
going for
just
the
don't think
chicken
you know
mole.
ball. I
I'm
don't think
guessing
you know
chicken
ball.
mole. I'm guessing chicken
I'm
mole.
guessing. I clicked she crab. Yeah, dude, I'm fat, bro. I know this. All right, I'm there. Wait, what the hell is on the right?
Puffin
Holy.
bread.
Is that real?
Okay. Kuma Koira versus coffin bread.
That's two warlords of the sea in One Piece.
You're close. Now see the milk here is throwing me off a little bit. So I'm just gonna take that milk carton and kind of discard that.
Wait, milk cart. Where the hell where in the Sam? Oh, I clicked tap to expand. I didn't even see that.
Yeah. So if we discard the milk carton, we have what looks like a pretzel bread hot dog, which is kind of fire.
Yeah, I'm like there. Well, I actually just read the main ingredients and I need you to like look at that for me.
Apple jelly donuts? Okay, so not a pretzel bread.
This is interesting because I thought that was salt on top, and I'm like, oh man, that's really salty. But
So
then
it's
it looks like
icing.
yeah, it looks like
Icing
a
sugar.
yeah.
Interesting.
Um, I need like I need someone to eat this for me, and that well, no, I'm not like
Okay.
I'm adventurous. I like to eat that kind of stuff. So
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. I'm looking at that coffin bread. The inside, it looks a bit like mush. I am not a mush guy. No disrespect to mush lovers. Not me though. So I think I have to pick the Kuma Koira.
wait, hold on. I've just been informed by the Twitch chat by Chase OW, famous Chase OW, that we should come watch the Hypnos versus Leica game. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, like I'm a big fan of of
Uh,
Scrandle, but not Scrandle. But like we could do a little Hypnos versus like a game. I fuck with that.
is that like round 3? Is that
I don't know. We're there. We can go
um
visit. We can go check it out. You know, we're being invited so
round 3?
kindly.
It is Hypnos. Okay, round 3 Hypnos versus like a North Star. I mean, yeah, if they're like ready to go.
Yeah, let's send it. Let's go. Let's head on in.
Okay, all right. All right. I'm gonna send it to a quick be right back then while we get the lobby set up. And I guess our round 3 is actually gonna be Hypnos versus like a North Star. Woo!
Did you guys ever hear that one song Wonderwall?
Stop. Copyright, copyright.
Oh, hey, we're in game.
We are in game. Welcome back, everybody. We're streaming the round 3 of the Swiss stage for the Frost Giving Together for Hope tournament, supporting To Write Love on Her Arms. Make sure you check out the Tiltify link in the chat right over there. Heading into our match here, we have Illinois Tech versus ELMT Team Shade. I presume that's Element. Can't guarantee it, but I presume it.
I'm gonna keep it a stack. Newports. I'm rooting for Newports. It's just probably the best name I've seen on here in a while. I'm rooting for Newports specifically.
It took me a second to realize that was the player name. I thought you were just straight up talking about cigarettes.
I'm rooting for cigarettes.
You're just going for those 500 cigarettes.
500 cigarettes. I could honestly put 500 cigarettes in front of me. I can smoke that shit. But that doesn't matter now. We're getting into the game, baby.
Round 1.
Absolutely. And interestingly enough, we have a Junker Queen Reaper. Actually, Junker Queen Mirror. Very interesting here.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this, considering I don't know anything about Queen. I haven't seen her play since the Stockholm Finals, where Crazy Raccoon got run over.
Haven't seen her play since the Stockholm Finals only like a week ago.
Yeah, but even then, we only saw her for like 30 seconds.
That's
but,
true.
The Reaper is obviously going to allow them to get in way close if they don't die first to Fury.
Yeah, Fury's going to put a quick end to that, but this is really a blade-heavy matchup here. So we have the Vendetta coming out from the side of Illinois Tech. Baby Ball being the first one to pull it out here. Well, first one of this match, I should say. We did see Boom pull it out earlier. It looks like Use Incognito is going to be able to take out Newports. And in all this chaos, Illinois was actually able to find a cap there on the point.
Yeah, now they're just going to kind of be holding the choke point down as using Cognito sprays. But Baby Ball going in with that dash, able to get out with the sword throw.
Yeah,
Whirlwind
nice
Slash? What is that called?
Whirlwind Slash sounds right. It also sounds like a
Yeah.
Final Fantasy move, but I mean, yeah, I think it could be. Well, whatever it's called, it's not going to matter much anymore because a quick kill from Newports there is going to end up taking Baby Bell out of the equation. This is going to be a bit of an opening here for Element to kind of move in here. We'll see if they're able to make the most of it.
Newport smoking using Cognito there. But now it's really coming out from Arias Hunter.
Yeah, Arias Hunter looks like that is it. But a quick overclock is going to come out from Newport, and using Cognito goes down. We'll see if more value is able to be found. They're able to kite away. That's a rush. Stay in the fight without losing anyone. Now they have the ults of their own, and Newport is able to take out Ampe. Azulo is right there with the follow-up, and it looks like that is going to be all they need in order to allow them to find a point clip here, and they might even get a set out of it.
Yeah, you are in a horrible spot if you're Illinois. Look at the 4 ults on the side of Element there. And they're just going to be able to use those in series.
Wait, no, sorry. That's a first pick from Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be able to go in here now. Are they going to use the beat aggressively, using Cognito with that Death Blossom? We know that's Reaper's special move. We know it's the strongest thing in the game, and he doesn't even need it to get down by match.
Yeah, it looks like we see a response come in here from Hideki, who uses the Rampage, but it's not going to be enough. The quick beat response from Coast Strike is going to keep Illinois alive, keep them steady in this, and they're just going to be cleaning up now. Overall, though, an even trade here. We traded the Junker Queen ult for the beat, which, I mean, if you're Element Team Trade, I think you got to be pretty happy with that. But now, using Cognito, he's just going way in. You might see a bit of a touch the spawn door challenge, and yeah, Newport's going down as well. Looks like Charp is going to be caught out as well, desperately trying to stay alive.
Yeah, Charp using the beat right there. Oh. I mean, not the worst, but not the best. Obviously, Illinois coming 90%. They're going to kind of have to rush to touch here, and they still got 3 ults in the bank.
Oh, a huge slash from Baby Ball right down that alley where he's going to take out Newports. And at 99%, no one's left. Oh, we do see, it looks like Charp was able to touch, had to use the beat for it, though. Unfortunately, he's the only one left alive. Decky not going to be able to do much of anything there. Yeah, some great aggression and some, very almost overly aggressive ults from Illinois Tech are able to actually keep Team Shade kind of boxed up there and really just don't allow them to take any kind of initiative with their positioning or ult usage.
Yeah, we're coming on to Ruins here. Ruins obviously being a little bit more of an open map, I'd argue, but with cover to play behind. So you know what I mean? Like it's open, but you have stuff to play behind. You can engage on that Vendetta a lot easier. But Newport's looking to go to the Tracer here off of the Sojourn, and it looks like they're running a Tracer Sombra comp.
Tracer Sombra would definitely be interesting. Illinois, they're leaning full into their close range brawl playstyle. You have the Junker Queen, the Vendetta, the Reaper. If you get in breathing distance of that comp, you are just gonna get shredded. You're gonna get sliced up like deli meat from every angle possible. But it looks like Element are gonna actually leave the Tracer behind and opt for the Cassidy instead.
Yeah. I wonder if Newport's does have a Tracer, kind of like Lip has a Tracer, not willing to use it. A hit scan traditionally, but Azulo taking Baby Ball right down to Sliver HP.
Very low, forces the disengage, but the disengage is done successfully, and we see that they're able to come right back and actually take out Azulo and Sharp. Somehow, despite Baby Ball getting so low, I think it was a combination of the Suzu as well as the Junker Queen shout to provide just enough health to allow them to sustain and stay in the fight.
Yeah, so far, it looks like Illinois just has a better usage of their cooldowns than Elemental. It feels like Illinois is also very okay with initiating. They're not playing scared. Illinois, again, kind of just backing off, being scared, not using their ultimates. Like, look at that last round.
Absolutely. Now, Azulo swapping over to the Sojourn immediately finds value. Newport swapping to the Vendetta themselves, able to find just as much success. So it looks like Team Shade have said, if you can't beat them, join them. But apparently joining them is what it takes to beat them.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous push right there. We had Newport swapping over already at 60% on that big old blade from the sky.
Yeah, now, matching Baby Ball nearly here. Oh, but that might be a bit of an overstep. It's not, though. It's actually Baby Ball who ends up going down, despite Newport getting left on 1 HP there.
Yeah, somehow choosing not to chase there to confirm the kill, and I guess for good reason, they end up dying. The Rampage coming out here from Hideki. Let's see if they use it. All lined up perfectly. Maybe waiting for Suzu to get used, but they also have a beat to respond.
Newports again is able to find the pick. Baby Bell trades and finds a headshot. I didn't realize you could get a headshot before, but there it is. It's actually going to be the beat coming out from Sharp. Azulo going down forces them to use it just to keep up that sustain, but it does pay off. Hideki and Newports, they're both able to take out their counterparts. And honestly, that was a really, I think, smart beat come out there from Sharp. They saw that they lost Azulo, and they knew they needed to do something to stay in it. Downside, of course, is that Illinois Tech, they're coming up on 5 ults now.
Yeah, you're going to see the matching rushes here. It's all about who's going to have the better Rampage. But using Magneto going down quick from Sharp there. Both Kitsune rushes coming out. Suzu coming down to cleanse the ante. A huge sword from the sky onto Baby Ball.
Yeah, Newport's so smart with that ultimate because for anyone who's unaware, Vendetta's ultimate has the new and unique property, which is called Render, I believe, or Sunder, something like that. And basically it tears through all over health. So you saw the overkill come in there from the Junker Queen, but it didn't do anything. It just Newport's able to get up in the sky, charge up for massive damage, brings it down, just really stops that push in its tracks. Now Illinois Tech, they're left with just the beat to push in here with and the Death Blossom, and then Overclock is going to put a lot of pressure down onto Illinois, and the Rampage from Hideki is going to be just what they need to follow it up. But Kostrek has the beat, and it looks like it might be enough. Kostrek able to find picks onto Sharp and Light Mash, but trades are coming through. This play isn't over yet. Element Team Shade, they want to try and lock this down right here, but it's not going to be quite enough. Newport's putting up a valiant last stand, but Illinois Tech just barely able to take a flip. And the key thing is that they're able to save the Death Blossom.
Yeah, I think that the Death Blossom is going to be used here kind of as like a little surprise, you know what I mean? He's going to be hiding up in the rafters, waiting for them to push in, and then do that Reaper guy special move that we all know and love. Catch you by surprise.
Yeah, and we can actually see where he is. He's right around that corner. He's just behind them right now. It looks like he hasn't been... Nope, no one sniffed him out. He went out for some quick damage down, and Newports goes down to Rise Hunter. And that's such an early pick. You can see that, yeah, Element from Shade, they're smart to just take a disengage right now, try and get out with their lives. But Illinois Tech, they don't want to let that happen. A quick knife is going to drag Hideki back in where he gets cleaned up. And now you can see Amp 8 is actually getting close to the Rampage, which is along with the Kitsune Rush that Rise Hunter's building up to, things are looking a bit dicey here for Element Team Shade. But as I say that, Azulo and Newports find picks out of nowhere. This has just become a 3v5.
Yeah, absolutely. Azulo with another one. Good for 2. The Rampage coming out from Amp 8 isn't enough. Takes down Newport, using Cognito, finally using that Death Boss. Does he get any value from it? No, looks not. And, I mean, Elemental here looking to cap the point now, using Cognito. Desperate touch, last coming in. You got Baby Ball coming in as well. The beat comes out kind of early. This mat fight isn't over yet, but hey, Sharp's good for that move onto Baby Ball. Post-Strike kicking out Azulo though. The Kitsune Rush coming down from the side of Illinois. And Hideki getting welcomed on that point.
Ryan
Once more
swap?
taking on a Rise Hunter. Oh, the Ryan swap. That's what we need to see, baby.
Yeah, but as we see that, we see Hideki getting very close to that Rampage. Gets low, but gets the commanding shout off just in time. He'll keep him up a little bit more. Now that light steal paying off dividends. And a huge Rampage is going to be exactly what he needs in order to stay alive and keep doing damage on this point. And Element Team Shade, thanks to some hero plays by Newport and Azulo, able to turn around a very dicey situation and end up bringing us to a 0.3.
What I tell you about Newports? Smoking the enemy team. I love a good Newport, and hey, Newport's a good Newport.
Yeah, it is interesting how Newport's originally was not opting into that Vendetta duel, but now with that swap, being willing to, you know, run the 1v1s, that's actually working out pretty well for him, all things considered.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting well point as we hear the Kiriko flourish that little knife in the background. What do we think? I mean, we got the Wu Yang coming out now instead of the Kiri Lucio. Oh, I guess I was fooled by the spawn room. Never trust the spawn room.
Yep. We're coming back. Both teams feeling confident that their style is the correct one. Illinois sticking with the Reaper, and Team Shade sticking with that Sojourn. Team Shade definitely has a bit of an advantage if you look at like their long range potential. They're gonna find early picks, and Newport goes straight in, just immediately beheads Arias Hunter. Beautiful opening there. You can see that was just a no fear full send, which you know, on Vendetta might be exactly what you need.
Yeah, oh my god, look at Newport's ult charge, and the point hasn't even been capped yet. He's already at 50%.
Yeah, more than double Baby Balls. I mean, Newport, despite not starting with the character, seeming just incredibly comfortable on it, but now Hideki, you see, maybe overthinking his welcome there, getting a little bit low. Using Cognito also putting down crazy pressure. It does force out the Stuzu. Newport is still there, still building up that ult charge. Goes straight into the backline. Oh! Maybe a missed jump from Azulo. It has to use 2 skates to get out of the danger zone. That's going right into the side of Illinois Tech. And while that's happening, Baby Ball is able to trade out onto Newport. The Hideki is left without support. And it looks like, yeah, Illinois Tech. Now, on some early damage, they're able to just kind of make the most of it and find the picks they need. Element Team Shade not really having enough of a disengage there, and you know what? Apparently they still can't disengage as Newport's goes down really late.
Yeah, that's huge. And as well, look at the difference in the Kiriko, sorry, the Kitsune rushes here. Arias Hunter, if they want to here, they've already got a man down in Newport's. I mean, they can just go early and finish them off and cause another reset.
Absolutely. We see Baby Ball just flying around the map here. Now actually matched on the ult charge from the Vendettas, and it's going to be the Kiriko rushing full charge from Arias Hunter. Azulo's going to try and counter it using the overclock, and the sound barrier from Sharp is going to be helping out as well. Newport finds 2 off the back. Sharp helps as well. Element Team Shade, a beautiful response to that Kitsune rush is going to be more than enough to allow them to cap this point.
Yeah, Costrike deciding not to go use the beat there to match Charp. But in the end, that's going to benefit them on this recontest. Both teams even on this point. Light Mash just spamming those kunais. Even though they're smaller, they still hit like a truck.
Absolutely. Now, Illinois Tech, though, they do have 3 coming up on 4 ults here. And Element, they use their beats, so they're not going to really have anything to get through this Rampage or the Death Blossom. But, you know, they might not need to as Newport. They find an early pick out of nowhere. A boop is not quite enough to throw Baby Ball into the well as he's able to get out there. But Azulo is quick to finish him off. Just kind of doing some skeet shooting there.
Yeah, the Kitsune rush there, going early. That's kind of what I wanted to see Il Tech doing earlier. But now, kind of not able to do that anymore. I mean, Element doing it just better. As you see the Reaper TP in here. And we got ult, so beat coming out.
Out early, and there it is, the Rampage coming out from Amp 8. More than enough to clean clean up that fight. Element Team Shade, I think maybe wisely choosing to hold their ults in response, use nothing, and you get 2 ults out of Illinois Tech for free. Now the only thing you have to worry about is a death loss, but you're coming in with a Rampage and the overhead slash ult I don't know the name of yet.
Can we get a check on that? Can we get a check on that, mods?
Vengeance slash, maybe? Vengeance strike?
The epic slash. But Hideki coming in with Rampage, and again, you're absolutely right. Is using Cognito. Gonna kind of go incognito, keep up behind them possibly. No support ult out yet. However, Orion coming up. 88, 90. Oh, and there it is. The Reaper guy special move. Taking down one.
Yeah, the advantage here for Illinois Tech, they're able to skip it on the 3v3 actually. Newport staying alive, trying to hunt down the Kiriko, but the Reaper and the Kiriko together, they're just a little too strong. But the key thing there is that Arias, the pressure from Newports was enough to force a panic Kitsune rush. Maybe not even a panic, maybe it was necessary just to survive the Vendetta onslaught, but it does mean that Illinois Tech, they're now running dry. Azulo very close to that overclock, but it's taken so low. Using Cognito with a ton of aggression is able to take out Azulo. There's no ult online for Element Team Shade. Now Baby Ball is just able to do whatever they want. They find one, they find a second, and just there to clean it up with a knife. No one's on the point. Illinois Tech, beautiful recognition of their win conditions. They end up taking the first map here.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of misplaced aggression on the side of Element. I mean, you had your win condition. You had Azurlo with that overclock, and they've done it before. They just needed to do it again. And, I mean, not being able to keep them up there, maybe going a little bit too far forward without your tank there. And look at this, the Vendetta just mowing down Sharp and Azulo. And that light match just
the
follow.
exact moment of victory. Great performance from Baby Ball. You know, he heard that we were talking up Newport, pulling out the Vendetta seemingly out of nowhere, and he's like, no, I pulled it out first. I know what I'm doing. There's a reason that I started with it, and these guys had to try and go mid-season or mid-series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Newport is still my royalty, my king, queen, whatever they want to be called.
Monarch.
My monarch. They are royalty in my eyes. Newport will come back, and they will have a response to this. Honestly, these two teams are really close in skill level, it seems. I think this could go to a map 3. As a reminder, this is only first to 2.
Yeah, this is definitely feel like one of the closer matches that we've seen today. And you know, it's a bit surprising because this is still the Swiss stage. This is just purely based on running through the rounds, and we're already seeing a very, very competitive game here. And I definitely, you know, I gotta point out the fact that both these teams are doing it with a comp that we have not yet seen play today. We've been seeing a lot of Sigma, we've seen some Hazard, not seen any Junker Queen yet.
Yeah, what do you think about the difference between the Reaper and the Sojourn here? I mean, on the tighter points, Reaper kind of has an advantage there, but once the Sojourn has room to operate and time to operate, I think on more open maps, I think I like the Sojourn over the Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at it like just from a theory crafting perspective, you gotta kind of give the edge to the Sojourn, right? There's a reason that Sojourn has been a mainstay in the meta for who knows how long at this point, going on what, like 4 years now. Sojourn is just like the one shot potential is so great, and you could argue that Reaper has that same kind of high burst damage potential, but of course the difference is the range, right? Reaper has to get right up there in your face in order to do that, whereas Sojourn, she can rip your head off from Narnia. She doesn't need to be even in your the LOS. Like, you can be somewhere completely else, and all of a sudden you're back in the spawn room, right? So that's definitely the main advantage of the Sojourn. But given the playstyles of these two teams, like especially for Illinois Tech, you know, they're getting in there with the Vendetta, and I think we can't say which one of them favored the Junker Queen, but Amp 8 definitely looked to know what he was doing there. So if they are favoring that rush playstyle, and that is kind of what their comfort zone is, then yeah, the Reaper seems to be slotting in perfectly.
Yeah, I think a map like what we're going up to, spoiler alert, it's Route 66, again favors that Sojourn. I think that map pick is great from the side of Element. Iltech, they are really playing to that brawl style to almost perfection. I mean, every time they collapsed onto that point and just brawled, and not necessarily made it a death match, they didn't not look uncoordinated.
I think
the chaotic style really thrives.
Yeah. I think the big thing that is kind of allowing them to find success here with this brawl comp is really just their tempo. They're doing a great job of, you know, taking initiative, using ults, even in situations where, like, maybe it's a little dicey that they have the confidence in themselves to use the ult and commit to fights that seem like it'd be hard to win, and they're able to come out on top as a result. And like we saw there on that last fight, they didn't have any ults online, but they knew that Team Shade were getting close. So, they went in quick, they went in fast, and it ended up paying off for them.
Do you think that's just good alt tracking on the main support side on
It's
Sharp's?
got to be, yeah. It's a combination of ult tracking and
Or
just
yeah, I was gonna say Azilo being a little bit too far forward.
um, it could be. But I don't think he was necessarily too far forward because like you saw, he did have the team support there. I think part of it though was just like the nature of like that section of Ilios, right? Like if you're playing Sojourn
Yeah.
on a different map, you have 2 slides. I think you get to safety. Like, on Route 66 here, I think we'll see, for example, you have a lot more escape routes with your slide, right? Much more open, a lot more things you can hop kind of over to get to safety. Whereas a map like Ilios, 90% of your slides, you're going to be going into a wall unless you're doing it right on the point, right?
Yeah, and as well, like Freya was banned that map, but also Freya was shot dead in an alleyway from this last set of patch buffs and nerfs. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Freya as much anymore, which I'm honestly very happy with. I'd rather play against a Sojourn than a Freya any day of the week. But even on a map like Route 66, I just don't think we're going to see it.
Yeah. Now, what I do think is going to be curious here as we go into Route 66 is, do we see one of these teams try and pull out a dive? Because on our previous map, we saw, rather than like a Vendetta rush, we saw a Vendetta dive running that Winston comp, and it looked to be pretty solid. Like right now, we're still in the stage where we're figuring out where Vendetta works, where she doesn't. But I will say I was a big fan of that style of like having the Vendetta go in deep, then having the Winston jump in to throw the bubble down. And it's arguably more effective than it would be using that strategy with like a Tracer or a Genji, for example. Because Tracer, Genji, they're playing at a bit of a different range than the Winston. Genji a little bit closer, but as Tracer, you're blinking around. You're probably not going to be staying inside a bubble quite as much as maybe the Vendetta would be when she's in there, having already used that like dash spin. At that point, she's just going for like the slashes and stuff and just keeping up the stacks. And there, that bubble is getting maximum value.
Yeah, another question for you here as we enter in the game. If Element wins this this map, where do you think Tech is going to take us?
I mean, if Element is able to win this map, I think Tech goes somewhere we can lead into the brush, somewhere where that Reaper is going to be strong, right? Given how much they stuck with it, I think that's definitely what they're favoring. And if you have a chance to lean into it, surely you take that, given the opportunity. But
Yeah,
like you mentioned, we are jumping into the map here. We can see both teams here getting ready to assemble their heroes. I do believe I need to...
Ready for battle.
No, my team sides are fine. Awesome.
let's go. All right, look, it's getting a beautiful view of Big Earls here as we wait.
Awesome.
But
Look what we see from Illinois Tech.
I'm liking. I was just about to say, I'm liking what I'm seeing on that side. This Bastion coming out. Do we but honestly, this time a very different backline than we saw before. We have the Ana Brig, something we probably haven't seen in the meta in a while.
A very different backline, and notably, no Symmetra, no Mei, which previously have been the mainstays whenever we've seen like a Bastion Sigma comp, but Baby Ball choosing to instead commit to the Vendetta. We'll have to see how this works, because I think Baby Ball might find a bit of difficulty in going in deep looking for assassinations when there's really no one on the side of Illinois Tech that can really get in there to help in that range.
Yeah, I was gonna say this comp just to me at least doesn't really make sense. But hey, Newport's already going down that low, and obviously they're just gonna sit up on top of Big Earls. A nice hook. I was just gonna say, who can get up top there to bring anyone down? But it doesn't matter when you have a Junker Queen. But Newport's going down early to Baby Ball.
Yeah, you don't need to get up top if you can just bring them to you. But unfortunately, the engage just doesn't, maybe not quite timed correctly, as the support for Newport's wasn't quite enough, and now we actually see a huge swap come through. Newport's trying the Bastion as well, but it's going to be a Bastion Junker Queen comp with a Genji. Okay, Team Shade just really throwing out the established playbook. They're going for something completely new. I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now the comps really aren't making sense to my little small pea brain, but I trust Newport. Switching over to the Bastion here, Hideki going dangerously low with the anti, but getting right back up. And now you have access to that high ground. They're slowly making their way through the cart. They have to dislodge this Sigma to make any forward progress, get up on the high ground.
Yeah, Newport's definitely has his work cut out for him here, which we see right away as Huge Incognito is able to take the first win in that Bastion 1v1. But yeah, like Newport's, I think he's just severely disadvantaged having to deal with a Sigma shield which is going to be soaking up so much of his value. Like, well, as soon as that turret form gets popped, you can see the Sigma shield come out, we see the grass come out. Whereas using Magneto, he doesn't have to worry about any of that. The only thing he has to worry about is a Genji deflect, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that Hideki needs the swap here to get any sort of value going. I mean, you can try and dislodge a Sigma like this, but it's not going to matter when you just have Antony raining down upon you as Sigma fluxes the back on it.
Yeah, it doesn't quite find the kill, but it doesn't need to because Baby Ball is right there to immediately follow it up, taking out both supports. Now, a rally did actually get used there from Illinois Tech just to clean it up. Maybe not necessary, but Element Team Shade, they do now have the Tidal Blast online, which may be exactly what they need to take out the backline of Illinois Tech here. If Azulo is able to get that blast put onto him, he might be able to assassinate the backline, use that to build up to a blade, and from there, there's snowball potential. Hideki does have the Rampage online, but of course, with everyone stacked up on high ground, he's not going to get much value from that, so they draw.
Nano coming out online to Baby Ball. Baby Ball taking down Light Mash. A big anti coming down onto Azulo and Hideki. And Baby Ball farming.
Yeah, Baby Ball with the nano sword ult, it just does insane damage. And Hideki actually, we're seeing a commit from Azulo and it's working. I thought Hideki, I will never question again. Hideki used a very late Junker Queen ult, which I thought was a complete throwaway, but stays alive. Azulo comes back with the blade, and they're actually able to clean up, but Newport, taken out early by the Bastion. That insane clutch from Hideki and Azulo. We'll see if it can actually pay off now. Tarp is going to use the tidal wave to try and keep him alive, and it looks like it is going to get to the pick onto use Incognito. Illinois Tech is a big piece of their damage right now. You can see now they're just kind of trying to throw themselves onto the cart to prevent movement here, but that means they have to duel Hideki, and Hideki, it looks like that axe is able to cleave through the sword of the Vendetta Baby Ball, and now Newport's coming back off the Tracer onto the Sojourn. A long-range railgun is able to take out Coast Strike, and despite some struggles, less than 10 seconds left on the clock, Team Shade are able to find a cast here on point one.
Yeah, on Route 66 though, every second counts, especially when you get to that last point. So it's going to be rough for them to push onto third. With the Bastion immediately taken down, a non-factor in this upcoming fight as the cart just gets through the door. Hideki in a little deep, but still has his team to support him. You know, no, they're not exactly grouped up on the side of Iltech.
Yeah, a nice knife from Hideki there was able to keep using for getting out. And now they're just going to go in really deep. We can actually see Newport's set up on that high ground, and Hideki just walked off the high ground to try and find a pick. But, you know, a quick disengage through the bottom of that building is going to allow them to get down to safety. And now Newport's continue to kind of just free fight here. The health bars for Illinois Tech are getting really low. In terms of the pressure, the Sojourn is actually able to outmatch the Bastion here. And Azulo dives into the backline, takes out Coast Strike. So the health bars are getting low for the side of Team Shade, but we now see here pulled out from both sides. Baby Ball is going to be using that sword ult to try and counter it, but it's not going to be enough as Azulo goes in. The original swordsman proving that he's still got it, and now Newport's with the overclock is going to clean up as well. Very ult heavy here from both sides, but ultimately Team Shade able to come out on top.
Yeah, if you're looking at these two teams, though, which ult would you rather have? The one that antis everything, or the Bastion ult? I mean, Bastion ult coming out now. Coast Strike does have the nano, but I mean, pretty soon they're gonna have a blade coming online. Coast Strike actually going down. The nano coming out onto Baby Ball, but Baby Ball's already at half health. They're not gonna be able to do anything with it. This blade's about to come online with a rampage.
Yeah, I gotta say that was an interesting strategy from Coast Strike. Walked straight into the Disruptor shot, over the sacrifice play to get the nano off. But it was like a 2v4. It was definitely not worth it. And, you know, lo and behold, Team Shade, they're able to find an easy cap. Looks like they did use the Tidal Blast there, which, if you're Illinois Tech, I guess you're happy that you're able to force that one out at least. But now we do see some swaps coming in. They're decided to move away from the Bastion. I guess they finally realized that Element Team Shade, they had the download, and Hideki of course, is only going to get more effective on this final portion of the map. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not playing the Bastion, who's like pretty much the most vulnerable character to knives in the game outside of like the tanks.
Yeah. AMP8 up on the high ground, kind of just poking down. They want to play this slow. They need to play this slow. They need to take more time off the clock. A blade coming out from Azulo, taking down using Incognito. Is he going to get more? Searching, hunting, finding the Sigma. Taking him down as well, and Light Mash takes down Wu Yang as well.
Only gets the one pick, but it might be all he needs. Baby Ball and Arias Hunter are still alive here. They're still looking for picks, but it looks like Azulo is going to be more than happy to try and take that duel. Baby Bell staying alive, but with no Kiriko, surely they don't stay alive for much longer. They're going into the back line, and finally Azulo taking them down. Hideki, though, very low, and using Incognito is going to be the one to take them out. But, you know, Element Team Shade actually, maybe not too disappointed as they're actually able to force out a Gravitic Flux from AMP8, who just came out of spawn and thought he needed it to try to save the fight.
Yeah, I don't like that from AMP8, not at all. You do have Baby Ball's ult coming online. But on the other side, again, Hideki waiting to, I'm assuming for that Kiriko to kind of either be out of the fight or just use that Suzu a little bit too early. And with both sides coming up on rushes pretty equally, Light Mash, if he comes up on that rush first, and I mean Hideki ults, it's gonna be a quick fight.
Absolutely. But of course, Baby Ball getting very close to the Vendetta ult of their own. Right, Hunter going down though. There's no Suzu on the field. Baby Ball used the ult, ends up trading 1-for-1, but now Hideki has the freedom to go whenever he wants it. But right now he doesn't even need to. There's just not enough healing. He's going to charge straight into AMP8. Just shotgun shots is all he needs to take him out of the fight. And they're still holding on to this ult. Newport's is going to be the one to use the overclock instead, sitting up on that high ground, more than comfortable. Just free fire away on Illinois Tech. They trickle in, trying desperately to save the cart here. But finally, Hideki uses the ult, and it looks like it is going to be enough to get them to cap, but not quite enough to get them out of overtime.
Yeah, on an escort map like this, that doesn't really matter. I don't care what the internet says. I don't think attacker's advantage is really a huge difference, especially in games like these. But I mean, I do think Hideki held that ult for maybe a little bit too long just to ult the wall in the end and not get anyone, but like that's why he's in the game, because he knows better. He knows ball better than I do. He's in the game and I'm on the booth for a reason.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see here if both teams end up what comp both teams end up running, because despite them both kind of messing around with the Bastion comps, by the end of it, I think they were both just sick of it. Neither of them wanted anything to do with that, and Illinois Tech actually with a very different look here, pulling out our first Zarya of the day, assuming that's not a spawn room bait.
This is interesting. Oh, I like the Winston, like you were saying in the pregame. Very interesting to see how this is going to work out. I think Zarya and Vendetta, obviously, work very well together just based off of their kits on paper. Same with Diva and Vendetta. Vendetta in the Winston bubble, obviously, again, the cohesion is there. I was going to say I'm very curious to see what Use Incognito plays, and the Genji does not surprise me one bit, especially with this comp they're running.
Yeah, interestingly, we finally have the Genji one going. Use Incognito just seems to be constantly happy to take any mirror with the opposing team's DPS. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is how Element Team Shade kind of balance their high ground and low ground control. Because if Hideki just chooses to stay on the low ground, he could get bubbled off and isolated from heals really easily. And right away, we see exactly that. AMP8 just jumps up and an immediate assassination onto Light Mash. Arias Hunter ends up falling with 2 other tech shots of their own. And yeah, Illinois Tech, a really explosive start here on this first point.
Yeah, that was an absolute gorgeous dive, immediately blowing the Element up. And now they're kind of holding that choke point there. There is chance for Element to come back and get a touch. And the ultra
sharp slots to Lucio to support that. They're going to be going for another touch here. They're going to give him the speed right back.
Yeah, I think they have to go low ground relatively quickly here, though. They're going to realize that they're being held in the door here. But AMP8 kind of backing off.
You can see a jump there coming from AMP8. The knife is going to touch it a little bit, but not good enough to do any meaningful damage. Light Mash is going to have the dash forced out of him by the Baby Ball Vendetta, by using Incognito and AMP8. They're just looking deadly. As, once again, the kill feed is just all Illinois Tech. Don't pay attention to the colors, because Illinois Tech end up taking a flawless cap there, not losing a single member.
Yeah, and look at that. Light Mash is almost, or is 44% behind on that Kitsune Rush there. And they're just going to be able to kind of steamroll through. I mean, they're taking the high ground here. Just waiting. And maybe as soon as someone jumps up, they're going to try and jump on top of them. Oh, we got a pause coming
through. Interesting. We'll throw it back to our caster scene here.
I'm leaned back and I'm relaxing, watching some good Overwatch.
I'm unprepared. There we go.
I'm liking the Winston. That first dive was absolutely gorgeous.
Very much so, yeah. We talked about how there's a lot of synergy potential here with the Winston and the Vendetta, and they seem more than happy to show it right off the bat for us. It looked like Element Shade, they didn't even really have time to process the fact that they had been dove and the Kiriko was already taken out.
Yeah, my question to you is well, not my question, but more of an observation from my part, is the Genji using the Swift Strike there, even after Vendetta gets the 3-piece, as we head back into the game, it kind of feels like dash reset galore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a ton of bursts. Between the Whirlwind dash and the Genji dash and the Winston lead, you are really dealing with just a monumental amount of burst damage that really any skill would be hard pressed to survive through. And Faith, though, getting taken very low. Some incredibly clutch heals, though, keeping him up. Using Cognito, though, not quite as lucky. And Newport finally able to lock in, take a quick shot. Ooh, a nice kunai there from Lightmatch to take out Post Strike as well.
Yeah, they finally stem the bleeding here as Hideki online with that Rampage. And it looks like, I mean, you got 3 ults on the, almost 5 ults on the side of Ill Tech here. And the world is their oyster. I mean, Lightmatch is so far behind on the Kitsune Rush. They can go fast here, go quick, run them over before, I mean, even a beat comes out. And there it is.
Hideki does have the Rampage built up now, but it's going to be Amphay who uses the first tank ult as we see the Primal Rage come through. He's able to displace, but not finding any picks. Baby Ball getting so low. Azulo able to find the chase down, take him out. And we can see Amphay barely, never mind, I was going to say barely able to live. Azulo is there again. Azulo doing a great job right now. He's all over the map, able to find these low hubs and finish them off. Really just being the ultimate cleanup machine here.
Yeah, I think Genji is a great enabler, Vendetta is a great enabler of the Genji. Again, just everything spinning around, going crazy, and most of the time leaving things at 1 health. Genji's dash resets are going crazy here. And now, I mean, sharp no beat, go straight with the beat. You can use that to push in here and maybe get a better push, but Light Mash coming up on that Kitsune Rush pretty quick. It looks like they're jockeying for position on the right side of this high ground. They're looking for someone to kind of separate, make the first move, and jump right on top of them. But maybe
one more quick dive. Oh, I was going to say one more quick dive could be all you need in order to really throw a wrench in those plans. But that's going to be Azulo, who's the first to go in, finds one, finds a second. Hideki able to follow up with 2 of his own. And we're seeing just a complete opposite. A single ult used by Azulo completely dismantles Illinois Tech.
Yeah, Azulo kind of shining on the Genji here. And Kostrike not even able to get the beat out before immediately being, dismantled by that Genji. Lightmash now has the Kitsune Rush, and they have the Rampage as well. It's going to be very difficult to push in on the side of Ill Tech here. And you're not coming up on anything anytime soon. Using Cognito already down.
Yeah, your best bet might be to just kind of, take some of this poke damage, absorb it the best you can, see if you can farm the Kitsune Rush. But, I mean, either way, Element, they're really sitting pretty right now. Illinois, they're going to need to, we need to see another one of those, 0.1 dives from them, where they find a target and just immediately, all together, they're able to full send onto it. Oh, we can see Baby Ball being taken very low, and a super aggressive Rampage is going to go straight into that hallway. That is a blender for Hideki.
Oh my.
More than healthy to follow up as well. Wow.
Look
Illinois
at that
Tech,
lead.
yeah, just absolutely taken to the circus there.
I'm going to be honest here. Ill Tech not looking as coordinated as they did on that first point. And Arise Hunter going down, kind of further proving my point. It's... Their communication was so clean on that first point, and then they got stopped on the second point, and it's been a halt ever since. Now waiting for Arise Hunter to reset. Granted, it's a Kiriko. They get back fast. But how are you going to be able to angle this Kitsune Rush onto that? Because that's all you got. And Light Match still holding onto there, so you're going to have to match both. Or you're going to be matching Kitsune Rushes here. As Ampe taking heavy damage, using the jump to go in.
And there it is. That's the kind of dive that we needed to see. Baby Ball ends up going
Oh!
in. Now Ampe thinks that Kitsune was able to do a ton of damage. And yeah, there it is. Now finally the Vendetta really paying off. The Baby Ball really opened up that fight. Off the back of that Kitsune Rush, goes in, isolates Charp, and a couple quick slashes are able to take him out, not letting that beat come through, which I'm sure Team Shade would have liked to have up in order to kind of sustain this. And now we're in a scenario where the Baby Ball is using a very early Vendetta ult, but it doesn't find any hits, more to buy time. Charp uses the beat very early, so using Magneto is able to have a later blade, and it looks like it might be enough. Hideki though is able to respond. Rise Hunter going down, and Azulo so close to that blade, but unfortunately not able to get it online in time. Magneto actually able to find the better end of this Genji matchup for maybe the first time on this point.
Yeah, and Hideki, last man standing. Noble 6 on reach. Not able to do any magic here. But Azulo with the blade, I mean, that's good. They only have 1:30 left on the clock. And you're only really coming up on the primal rage here. You're gonna need 1, maybe 2 fights to really develop anything more than a beat.
Yeah, but you know, like we mentioned, the Jumper Queen, this is arguably her strongest point when it comes to Route 66. You're no longer having to deal with, you know, too many weird high grounds. Everything's pretty accessible. But sometimes a Kiriko will just take out your Sojourn, and that will definitely hurt Team Shade's plans here. As they now you have to disengage. They're actually still going to try to keep fighting this, but...
Wait a minute, hold on. Cost back up. Did you see that?
I don't know. Did I?
What the Winston did with his bubble?
He jumped in and threw it over the surface. Yes.
Yeah, did you see... He took the bubble flip.
Oh, did he? I didn't notice
Yeah.
that, no. Oh, Hideki and using Cognito. Both really doing strongly here, but Hideki able to find the better end of that matchup. Ampe seems to do this there for a second. Interesting. But ultimately decides he has enough time. Now, Illinois Tech, they have a saving grace here. In fact, their beat is still online. Illinois Team Shade, they have the Rampage, but they have to know that that beat's online. And of course, they also have to deal with a Zuzu. So the Rampage has a lot of ways to get nullified. Hideki's going to need to thread the needle to find success with it.
Yeah, no Sunder on the side of Element. So they're just waiting for these health bars to get low. Waiting for that cleanse to come out. The Kitsune Rush comes out on the side with a Rise Hunter popping that. Now they're waiting to use this beat. Oh, people going in deep. Barely getting a haircut there. Oh, but actually take it out.
Hideki goes down without using the ults. That could be a crucial misplay from Team Shade here if they wanted to close out this map. Now we can see Illinois Tech, they're able to stay alive. They have to stay. The target's 4 Team Shade getting so low. Azulo's barely able to survive. Now Charp uses the beat. We'll see if Close Strike responds with one of his own, and he does. This actually could be good for Hideki. He's able to come back. The beat's already been used. There it is. Close it, but it only hits one person. Close Strike is the only person that can effects of that Rampage. And using the Vito has the blade. He goes in, takes out Newports, looking for another. He's not quite able to fight it with the blade, but Ampe is there to follow up. Light Mask goes down, and Baby Wall is able to stay alive there on point. Hideki and Charp both going down as well. Is there anyone left for the side of Team Shade that can get out here? There is not. Both teams finish Route 66 in overtime. We are going to extra innings.
This is a beautiful matchup here. These two teams so evenly matched. And I really think both teams probably played the best of their outs there.
Absolutely. And Rox, I gotta point out, I am absolutely in love with the fact that these two teams are so evenly matched, and they're playing so similarly, but with one key difference. On the first map, it was the Reaper versus the Sojourn. On this map, it's the Winston versus the Junker Queen. Outside of that, we're getting mirror matchups, but there's just one key difference, and both these teams are trying to prove that their distinctive style is the superior one.
Yeah, both teams really playing to their strengths here, Apostle. It's, again, very charming to see Hideki blocking the hog and... Sorry, that just caught me off guard. I need to ask Amp 8. Yeah, absolutely. But like I saw it and then I was there.
If Hideki walks out of spawn on the hog, I will donate $20 right now.
All right, I need to drag Amp 8 into this call.
He already.
He knows his bread and butter with this JQ.
I think.
Do you think I could get Amp 8 in here for a player interview and ask him why he picked the bubble throw perk? I'm guessing it was a misclick as he has the jump perk now, but You never know. It could have been a tactical thing.
I'm doing good work.
I mean, it definitely could have been. It allows you to kind of put the bubble on top of the Junker Queen while staying marginally farther away from her effective range. Now we see the Freya, like you mentioned before, who, like you mentioned, gutted in this patch. Maybe not the most effective. It's interesting that we see Newport swapping away from the Sojourn here.
Yeah, I wonder what in their mindset of wanting the Freya here. Maybe an easier time dislodging these people off of Big Earl. And we're looking into the ground right now, but this Lucio coming up, it looks like everybody's off of Big Earl now.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that Use Incognito is now on the Sojourn. Like, despite being on the Genji before, we didn't really mention it, but like, he's showing some crazy flexibility here. And we'll see if it pays off though, as Azulo gets taken low, but not taken out, and able to find one. Hideki found a second. Try to find one of his own as well. And right now, Element Team Shade, they're able to win this first fight, and you know, we're entering into overtime, but so far, so good for Team Shade. As Illinois Tech, they're actually going to be swapping off the Vendetta for the first time this series, I believe.
Yeah, they're going on to the cast here, maybe to get a better, better advantage of that Genji and the Freya here. But Freya has, but going down, he's not getting advantage of anything at all. And now this is free real estate for Element.
Yeah, Hideki maybe getting a little bit too bold there. As he goes in past the choke and being taken out by Use Incognito, who now finds a second. This Sojourn might be proving to pay dividends indeed over the Freya. As now the Freya has to be the one to contest point, and Amp8 is more than happy to give a monkey punch. Put an end to that nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. No teams coming up on any ults there, but I mean, I gotta say, I'm not like, I think Hideki went a little bit too far there, and that may have cost his team the game.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely, Hideki got that opening pick onto Baby Ball's cast, and you know, immediately that gives you the confidence, right? You're thinking, oh, we got the opening pick. It's the cast slowest character in the game, pretty much. We are chilling now. We can just go in and try and do whatever we want. But unfortunately, forgot to account for the sheer raw damage of a talented Sojourn, as Use Incognito farms up a railgun and just immediately plugs Hideki.
Yes, and as that train hangs off of the track, they're trying to prevent defeat from hanging over their head on the side of Element. I really like this Element team. I think they're a lot of fun to watch. Hope the Tor Bastion, they're actually rolling out on it. Is this a spawn hole?
The comm might seem like it in theory, but I think running the Tor means that you are going to be holding big girls. The turret is most effective when you're able to kind of put it on that back patio catwalk thing, the big wooden thing at the back of the map. Yeah, the bridge. And so we'll see if this is enough. Because remember, on the last attack round for Illinois Tech, they jumped up onto Big Girls and immediately deleted Element Team Shade support. So we'll see if this allows them to give them a bit more sustain, maybe allow them to get through the initial dive a bit more. It'll definitely make Illinois Tech think twice before they jump straight in. You don't want to face the Bastion.
Yeah, as we're looking at this now, Amp8 was already up there when they first attacked, and now they're kind of taking it slow, waiting for some cooldowns to come out. They see the Torp, they see the Bastion, they know they just can't jump right in. These two teams waiting for one another to make the first move. Neither of these teams want to make a mistake. As we see the Spider turret up top, the Winston hook. Winston low, actually, falling very, very low, but looks like he's going to be able to be brought back up.
Yeah, it was brought very low. Now the dive comes through, and it looks like it's going to be enough as the bubble isolates Hideki. Healing cannot get through, and they're tanking the first one to go. That's just a disaster scenario, as now we do see Azulo find a trade, but the rest of the kill feed is all Illinois Tech. A team kill, 4 seconds left on the clock, and about 10 meters to go. It looks like it's going to be Illinois Tech able to find the victory. They're going to take a 2-0 here over Element Team Shade, but man, what a close match it was.
Yeah, that was a fun match to watch. I'm going to see if I can get Amp8 for a player interview for fun. So we will see how that goes. We might have to get on Discord. Is that too much? Do you think that's too hard?
It is logistically difficult, but I mean, you know, you say jump, I say how high.
Yeah, I'm your boss. Don't forget that. So get working on it. But in the meanwhile, I'll keep yapping. Honestly, my player of the match there, Use Incognito. Use Incognito, the flexibility you were talking about earlier was really shown off here, and I think having a player like that on your team is so important. Um,
Absolutely.
if
Yeah.
I had to pick one on for Team Element Shade, probably Azulo. I know I was talking big for Newports earlier, but
Azulo did have
Azulo
a
kind of making
monstrous
things
performance
happen.
on the Genji at times.
Yeah,
100%,
absolutely.
100%. All right. Now because this match did start a little later, I'm wondering if our next match maybe has already started. Which
Mods,
mod check?
mod check, pee pee poo poo pee pee.
Our next match is yeah, so our next match is going to be Blue Demon Esports versus Silly Cat Gaming. And let's see what their game status is.
Amp 8 is down to come on. So if that hasn't already started, we're good to go. And I will add you both into a phone call.
Um, pull them into the thing we're currently in, if you can.
Oh, the link here.
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Anyway, while we're working on the behind the scenes stuff, yeah, an overall incredible match between Illinois Tech and Element Team Shade. I think I'm very curious to see how both their rather unorthodox styles will actually play out here in the context of the overall tournament.
Yeah, these
'Cause
teams were very evenly matched.
yes, and I'm curious to see how that would look into something like the Sigma comps that we've been seeing a lot of. I think it'll be very interesting to see how that kind of works out. I mean, the Winston in theory should be good into it, but the Junker Queen as well, not a terrible matchup into the Sigma. As long as you can dodge the rock, from there you're able to use the knife to kind of prevent any disengages, keep them in your effective range. So I think there's a lot of potential for these two teams.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
um, okay, it looks like round 4 was a forfeit?
Uh-oh. Is that it for us tonight? We'll end with a player interview then?
It might be, it might be. Let me confirm, let me confirm.
Mods, check that out for me. While we're waiting, don't you worry about it. It's the guys in the back room. As we
Okay, we're gonna throw it to a break while we figure that stuff out, and we'll be back with either a game or a player interview.
got it.
See you guys soon. All right, hello everyone. We're back. We're jumping straight into a game. We have Leica North Star versus Half Shrimp.
Yeah, this is set to be an interesting one, as we are told all the players are drunk, but Doc doesn't matter. Drinking and driving, more like drinking and shooting, am I right? Hitting the headshot onto Weber. And Small following up in suit. As Chi takes down Doc, gets the revenge kill, as Chi gets the nano off. Civ is sticking Diana in return.
Yeah, I am.
He's
in the
editing something
process
still. I didn't even
of
realize because his
updating
hands were off the keyboard for 1 second,
screen.
and I was like, oh, he's chilling. But Chi in there. Civ is taking down Sovereign once again. Possibly a little bit of one-clip action there. Not sure. Doc staring down a reflecting Genji, choosing not to shoot himself in the head. June taking down Orchid. You know, we got nothing really online. June with the mines and Small with the captive sun, but I mean, are those two things even real alts? I'm curious to know what these players are drinking right now. I want to know. I'm so curious. Doc going down to the classic Winston dive, El Clasico. Is Ilari going to go down? Captive sun coming out. It hits absolutely nobody. Getting zero value out of that ult. Nothing. Popping sights, I guess, into the mines. I really cannot tell what's going on in this lobby. It's very deathmatchy, but in the best kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, from how this lobby was described to us, so far it's living up to the reputation. I am kind of living for the Widow duel that we're seeing here.
Yeah, as we know, Doc, former Timeless owner, trying to show his chops here in this tournament. Will he be able to diff Orchid? Classic two-time world champion Orchid. What are we seeing here?
Okay, I think everything's
The
up
answer
there.
is Sif's destroying Orchid. Small going down from Sovereign. These flex DPS fighting it out. The slam onto the Ana. The sleep onto the ball, however. Ana getting out clean. Sif's very low health. Kiriko getting absolutely blitzed by Weber. Doc following in suit. Weber on a tear right now. This stick onto the Winston. Not going to be enough. However, going dangerously low inside that bubble. Choosing to jump out. Sif's finally going down after a long while. Orchid with the revenge kill.
Yeah, and Orchid able to take the melee goal in its tracer. Not something we see every day, but you know, I guess we're recreating the that one cinematic. You know, it looks like the Zen Ana is really an interesting comp here. This is such a vulnerable comp on paper. Like, June should be looking at Sovereign on the Zen and just salivating. Oh, we see a nano on the Widowmaker.
And the nano on the Widowmaker. Orchid, again, two-time world champion Orchid. Will they hit one shot? Headshot after headshot after headshot out of the ball. With the nano, but it doesn't even matter. Weber just kind of cleaning up as the blade stick.
Oh, she's so low.
1 HP, nothing.
One melee is all you need. There it is.
And there it is, the headshot, the blade into the spawn. And the cap is good. The game is over. Weber with the amazing blade to end it, as we have the raid and everybody coming through saying GG Puck, Charpy, Azul, my player of the match on the losing team, but that's okay. They're goated. They call me Nano. Thank you for the raid once again. And everybody, I think that is our last match of the day, unless it is 1-1. What's the score?
That is 2-0 for Leica North Star.
That is absolutely
the shenanigans paid off.
The shenanigans for 2 seconds into the game. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the charity stream tonight. I've had people who I've recognized from all corners of the internet coming for a great cause. Apostle, tell us more.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is Frostgiving 2025, the Together for Hope tournament supporting To Right Love on Her Arms. I mean, this is just day one. We've already had a crazy day. We're going all weekend. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Sunday, raising money all weekend long. And I have to wonder if maybe some donations played a little bit of a play into the shenanigans that we saw there on Dorado. Because you know, if you donate, you can actually have a tangible impact on the game. You can force people to use ults in less than ideal scenarios. You can mess with their controls a little bit. There's all kinds of crazy cool stuff you can do by donating. So make sure you go check that out at the Tiltify. But yeah, all that to say, you know, what we saw here may not have been indicative of like normal standard of play.
No, it is pretty indicative of normal standard of play. This was an amazing series of matches today. And we're almost at our goal for the entire tournament.
You're
We're
right,
almost
we
at
are.
$1,000, 1,000 big ones, 1,000 smackaroos, a ban. Where's my Charizard? That's how much that is worth. I mean, like, we're there. We're doing a great job, and I'm excited for tomorrow to see some amazing matches.
Absolutely. Yeah. We like raising this much just on the first day. That goal wasn't just for the first day, to be clear. That's a 3-day goal. We're hitting it nearly on the first day. That's an amazing accomplishment. So of course we have to give a huge shout out. First off to our players, you know, showing up here, putting their best foot forward, showing us some amazing stuff on the big screen. They're having a great time. And of course, to the amazing community who's clearly come out with a ton of support. We are super thankful. The charity is super grateful. It has been absolutely incredible seeing everyone. So thank you all so much. Thank you to anyone who has donated already. Thank you to anyone who plans on donating. And even if you haven't donated, even if you're just sitting here watching the stream, even if you're lurking, we appreciate you showing up and showing your support in whatever way that is. You are absolutely amazing for doing that, and we appreciate it more than you know.
Yeah, I mean, do you have anything else to say? Are we going to end off the night here from an amazing 2-second matches or 2 seconds of match we watched? Anything you want to say to the people? Anything you want to say to the lovely fellas watching at home?
I mean, yeah, I think that whole spiel I just did was kind of what I wanted to say,
Oh, then
but
sign up. What are we doing here, man?
but
I go to bed.
I'll also say make sure that you guys come back tomorrow, because this was just a Swiss stage. Tomorrow we're getting into the brackets and stuff, and things from there are probably just gonna ramp up even farther. So we have crazy stuff in store for you. It's looking to be a very fun tournament, and you know, in an off season like this, we can all use a bit of a fun tournament.
Yeah, thank you watching Overwatch Apostle for setting up the stream today while I was at work. I very much so appreciate it. You are the GOAT. Make sure you go check out OWTV. Specifically only Apostles videos though. Because he gets so.
I do some stuff for them here and there. But
Who else do you do stuff for?
me, you.
Ex Oblivione! Yeah, make sure
Yeah.
you follow
There
us
you
on
go.
all platforms because we do charity events all of the time. Well, you know, every like couple months.
Not this one, but
No, this is just something we were very thankful to be a part of.
yes, absolutely. But
So the brains behind this event are amazing. I think that's all from me and you. Do we have anyone to raid for like a charity stream? What do we got going on here?
good question. To be perfectly honest, I don't really know how raids work.
Mods, I'm raiding this guy because it's a link in the chat. So
You have can you do the raid, or
yeah.
do I have to do it since I have the stream key?
No, I'm kind of goaded.
Okay. All right. Rox is going to take us to a fabulous content creator.
Yeah, Leon Aroka. We're going there.
Leon Groka. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you again for every bit of support that you guys gave us. We love you all, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.